There we go. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, the podcast hosted by two gamers for you. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. You, the True Gamers.
God.
I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, who's calling to you from the Matrix, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. Bro, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. As I'm looking at this, did you ever watch Ghost in the Shell? They made like a live action version of the anime with Scarlett Johansson.
I actively avoid everything anime, so no.
Yeah, it looks very Ghost in the Shell.
Is it the dots where the cameras are?
Yeah.
That's what does it, right? That's what does it. It reminds me of the...
There's some Cyberpunk, innit?
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say.
Maelstrom. Yeah.
There we go. Hey. So yeah, I'm going to do this entire podcast from within VR. There's nothing in here, so this is going to be a very weird conversation. But,
Weird for you, yeah.
Yeah, inside PlayStation VR 2. Hashtag not sponsored, even though I just realized I'm wearing the
Sony Pony
PlayStation hoodie as well. This is not a good look right now. It looks like I'm sure.
How are you finding the PSVR2?
So that's going to be a main topic for today, actually. It's going to be I told everyone to write in with questions and everything like that, to say like, if anyone has any questions regarding PSVR 2, and also make this sort of like a review to be like, this is how it is, a week and a bit in.
Yeah.
Should you guys buy it? Is it a cool thing? Blah, blah, blah.
I've seen you play some of the stuff. You got a couple racing games and stuff downstairs.
Yeah.
You know, at Poker Night it was downstairs. I refuse to touch it, especially the racing games. I will say I've seen some of your clips from Horizon, and there's little touches like if you want a part, you have to like go up to it and physically remove it.
Yeah.
Little things like that. And I'm just like, that game I feel like I probably could play and not be too sick. But one, if a Thunderjaw like tries to eat me, I'm jumping into my TV or out of a window, right? Like I have those physical reactions.
When you said it to me, you were like, that's the part of the game where I jump through a window.
Yeah.
When I just accidentally, I'm jumping out of the way and I'm through the...
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And obviously I can't do the racing stuff. So, but it looks, well, I've only seen it on the TV. Like I haven't seen it in the headset. So I'm keen to hear your
Don't
thoughts.
worry, we'll be talking all about that. But how are you doing anyway, man? How's life treating you?
Absolutely knackered.
Well, you're a suit, so that's what you should expect.
It's true.
You're working corporate shill hours.
It's true. On that note, the Patreon needs to up its game. All right? We don't do this for free. We do this for free.
We did do it for free. We would do it for free.
And do you know what it is? One of the
Everyone
reasons,
cancel your pledges.
usually, because realistically, I work from home on Fridays and I could just whack on a t-shirt or something and leave.
Yeah.
But the one time I came here, it took me like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I have like PTSD from that. So I was like, I got to leave because it went late. I had a meeting late, suit, adult, grown up.
Those things, meeting with line managers and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I was just like, I'm ducking out. I gotta go because I don't want it to go too late, and I want to jam and hang out. And then I'm full suit, corporate, Sheps. So, give me money. I'm freaking knackered.
Can you guys just help us out so we can live the YouTube dream? Thank you.
Right, innit? We want to be full-time content creators.
Exactly.
For you guys, it's not for us. It's for you.
You guys need the entertainment. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
How about you, man? How you doing?
The past couple of weeks since we've spoken, I'm not gonna lie, the past month has not been bad for me. I've had a lot of peaks of my life happening recently. So since the last episode we spoke 2 weeks ago, the PC came from the competition that I won.
Yeah.
So those of you guys don't know, just quick catch up. I won a competition with EA Star Wars. They did a lightsaber hunt, they called it, in London. I went and won it. It includes a trip to go to LA and an awesome lightsaber and a PC. Now,
the PC's a beast. It's
that's
an
the thing.
Absolute monster.
At the time, they told me, and I couldn't trust my hearing. People asked me, "It's like, what PC did you get?" And I was like, I can't trust my hearing because I was very excited at that moment. She said something like, either she said something $500, or she said over $1,500. And I couldn't trust myself. I was like, if they're offering a PlayStation and they're offering an Xbox,
The rig can't exactly
how
be.
much more is the PC gonna be? I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, is it probably gonna be? It probably would be like around 500, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought, well, I can't control it. It's a gift. I'm not gonna be able to say
Right.
anything.
Absolutely.
So when it comes, it comes. It fucking gets here.
And it came hard.
It came hard. For the PC nerds out there, I'm gonna rattle off some numbers.
Oh god.
So you guys know exactly what I'm working with here.
The real question is, I want to know the benchmark numbers. How quick does it load in Excel?
How many ROPS does it have and all that stuff? They say, I don't know. I hear that's
Is that a real thing?
I don't know.
Did you make that up, or is that?
I heard it during Mark Cerny's tech dive.
Oh.
I think it has something to do with GPU power. I'm not sure.
Cool.
Anyway, just so you guys know, the GPU inside it is a AMD Radeon RX 7900 XTX, which apparently is like their best card that AMD sell.
It's pretty beastly, yeah. Even I know that's a meaty card.
They said that there's a processor, AMD Ryzen 9 79000 X12 core processor.
That's a lot of cores. I don't know what the cores do, but you've got 9 of them or 12
many
of them.
cores. It's like an Apple. The more cores it has, the better.
That is
That's the definition of a good Apple. More cores.
facts. Yeah, facts.
32 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabyte SSD M.2 drive. The same one that Mark Cerny recommends for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. 2 terabyte.
Yeah, 2 terabytes in there.
Okay.
So that's a mad thing. And obviously, full to the brim with RGB lights and stuff like that.
That gives it more PC horsepower, whatever the
Exactly.
version of that is.
10% stopping power. That's what it gets.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
what it gets. Right there. And it has more fans than I have radiators in my house.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's going to need it for up here.
it's true. This is a warm room. We've got the AC on. And I'm not entirely comfortable.
No, it's actually warm. And it's, by the way, still effectively winter.
Exactly.
You may actually just have to direct pipe the AC into that.
To the PC.
Yeah.
There you go. But it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine.
True.
When I got it, the day that I got it, plug it in,
9.
lights turn on, but nothing.
No.
And it's got like an error code thing on the motherboard. It's got like a little LCD screen. It tells you what number.
That's cool.
And it's like, nah, fam, sorry, not working. Anyway, I did a bunch of troubleshooting myself, and I got on the phone with a tech guy at EA. He called me up on a video call. We had a nice conversation. I chucked in the old video card from the old PC, and it worked. So we confirmed it was the video card that was broken.
Yeah.
And this was the package that I was waiting for from
Yeah,
America. In 2 days, they sent me a new graphics card from America.
Do you know what?
And Royal Mail can't get me something from somewhere else in London. Anyway, they sent me that. Worked like a charm straight away. That was the thing, and they were amazing
I
about
just
it.
want to quickly beef up Royal Mail even more.
Go on.
I don't really listen to like the news or radio, but like, I put music on when I'm driving here.
Yeah.
If I couldn't be asked to find a podcast, so I'm just like radio, whatever. Apparently, people still send letters. That's a thing.
Never
I guess
do.
for like birthday cards or something. Right?
I guess, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Whatever.
A text message will do. I don't know what.
So apparently they do. Anyway, according to the news, Royal Mail is now going to be charging for a first class stamp. They're going from 15p to £1.30 for one stamp in the next couple months, and I'm just like,
And the increase in service is what?
Royal Mail charge you more. That's what you get additionally. More money to spend on something that you shouldn't be doing anyway. Save trees. Send an email.
Exactly.
So
Fuck.
I'm really looking for. I was like, Royal Mail's dead, huh? Sick. Like, what?
Is this the King's?
It's like 100% increase.
That's stupid.
No, wait, that's 1,000. It's 10 times.
It's stupid. How?
Frick 'em.
How do they justify it? Because I
And
mean,
I don't even send letters, and I'm offended. Do you know what I mean?
if there was another, because the thing is, unfortunately, Royal Mail is the only like postal service. You have parcel services, but you don't have postal
Yeah.
services that do anything.
Jeff,
If only we could get another
Mr.
fucking postal
Bezos,
service.
I beg you.
Please, Elon Musk. You know that's
Do you know
what
what?
you can
Actually,
do.
I don't want
Forget
post.
Twitter. Open up a postal service.
Yeah. I don't want post.
Go on. What do you want?
I just don't want post.
Yeah, it's true.
Like-
the only post you ever get is a bill.
Yeah,
Or a
absolutely.
parking ticket or something like that.
Yeah. And the only post I ever actually want is a game if I get it delivered. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and then that's a package, not post.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
I trust
Save
GPT
trees.
rather.
Save trees. Send a text. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, the PC came. It came randomly on a day that I just didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I'm speaking with the other people who won the Saber Hunt, and they've all got like emails for shipments. And I was like, I didn't get shit. What's going on? And one day it just shows up at my door.
Cool.
But it's really awesome.
It's very cool.
I'm liking it. Adriana has christened it her computer because obviously The Sims requires $3,000 worth of components.
Oh yeah. I mean, it won't run on anything less.
Yeah, anything less, it just
It'll
won't
barely
run
run on a PS5.
I just literally, I got it up running, and she's like, "Can I play The Sims while you play like Horizon or whatever is on VR?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, babe." And she's just on it constantly. This is our routine now.
Yeah.
I come home, have a shower, we have dinner, we put the baby to bed, and then she's like,
The Sims.
she's pointing upwards, she's like, upstairs. And
You're like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh,
Oh, you went The Sims.
sure. Open up the bedroom door. No, wait, where you going, babe? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you mean, oh, okay.
Yeah. Talking of other disappointments.
She's addicted now. True gamer arc. That's what this is.
Talking of other disappointments.
Yes.
Our Super Bros. Over on patreon.com/Conbrosations. to make this whole thing happen.
That's right.
Who do
Our
we
guys.
have to thank?
They support us over at patreon.com/Conbrosations, just as Sheps said there, and you guys can as well to keep the lights and mics on. These are our super bros, our epic super bros, who we hate very, very much because they give us more money. That's the way it works.
They got to the Findom tier.
They did
You know?
right then. These guys are Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Sabine from Smallville, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, Cats but the Friendly Patron, Mikey T the Gamer Giant, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy FIFA Fanatic Joe McCormack Clark, the 53rd, My Juicy Left Nut, the super sexy producer Sean, and Gams Master, the leader of the Empire, the fearless one, the great Lord Vader himself, step cousin, who isn't really that important. He's just in the family, you know.
Step cousin always gets me.
I don't even know if that's technically possible.
I don't think it's a real thing.
But we needed to make it. Step brother is like kind of there, but I needed to make it worse.
Yeah,
That's how it goes. By the way, I don't know if these changed because it's the beginning of the month, but hey, if it did, you got a free shout out for a second.
Yeah, or if you were missed, I guess donate more money next time.
Yeah, then we'll notice you.
Obviously.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me. Oh no! Victory! He got me, lads. He got me.
I sent you that TikTok, didn't I? The
Which one?
anime.
Oh yeah, upside down thing.
Upside down. We should post
that got me hard. I swear. Wait,
did it?
Hold on a
Interesting.
second. Hold on. Poor choice of words.
Interesting.
It was anime guys kissing, and that's not what I meant. I didn't mean. Damn it. Hold on a second.
First of all, that makes it sound like, one, I sent you anime guys kissing.
You did.
And then two...
Is that not correct? Is that factually correct?
I mean...
Is that not something you regularly search and send
What
to
I
me?
usually... funny thing, I usually send Tyler Lord of the Rings memes.
Yeah.
Where it's somebody watching just being like the most obnoxious Lord of the Rings fan ever.
Like all of them, yeah.
Right, exactly. Just being a Lord of the Rings fan. Right. So that's what I usually send, but every now and then I'll send some anime stuff. Anyway, what's our first topic?
Bro, let's kick today's episode off with talking about PlayStation VR 2. Sort of like my personal review discussion. You can ask any questions you have as someone who isn't a person who's played PlayStation VR 2, and I'll bring some questions in from the guys who've written in on our Patreon and Discord and stuff like that. But I am loving it. It is a fantastic headset. Coming from a guy who had PlayStation VR 1, It is such a massive upgrade from there. There's so many things that they've taken and improved and added to and just made the whole experience just so refined. PlayStation VR 1 felt like Gen 1 hardware. You were like, okay. They're just learning the ropes.
I'm with you.
PlayStation VR 2 doesn't feel like Gen 2. It feels like Gen 4.
Yeah, it feels like a PS4, PS5. It's refined.
They made jumps. They made a huge jump. Like where they could have done, okay, the PSVR 1 had about 1,000 cables that went with it. All right, we'll refine that down to 1. That's a Gen 1. That's a next gen leap.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
They've added inside out tracking, which is so much better tracking compared to what PlayStation VR 1 had. They've added this foveated rendering, this eye tracking, all these little technologies that are like so futuristic, so cool, so like cutting edge. And then they go and make these really cool controllers as well that go with that finger tracking. They have different sensitivities on like the buttons and stuff like that.
Controllers?
Great as well. So great. Everything on it is just so good. I've played...
How does it feel pulling a bow?
It's actually really cool because it comes with... I'll show you them here. It comes with this headset, right? Yeah. And the way that it works, if you're on the video, you'll see this, but if you're listening, I'll have to describe it to you. Can you see on the back of the headset there's these two holes?
Yeah.
And on this headset, there's like a rigid strap that then goes into those, and then the earbuds are like perfectly placed sort of like right next to your ear. Yeah. And if you plug it in that way, I'm sure it works if you use a big headset as well, but I've been using this. When you're pulling back the bow in like Horizon, you can hear the tension as well as feel the tension in your hand. You can hear the tension in one of your ears of like the what's the string, the bow string being pulled. It's like...
Yeah. Also because it's a steel string, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then you hear the whoosh of the thing going by just from one side. It's every little thing about the game is so perfectly done, and I hope that this is the kind of experience that we're going to be getting from PlayStation VR 2 in the future.
Fingers crossed.
I really like the quality of it. There's like a rubber guard that goes around the outside that's been greatly improved over the first gen one. The first one had a lot of like light leak around the sides.
Yeah,
I do remember. You could actually lift up your hands and see lift up your head and see your hands.
That was quite frustrating to me.
And I was like, while that's good in the intuitive sort of sense, like you want to be able to, if you want to see your hands, you can very quickly. It's not very good for when you're trying to do immersion. You want to like lock yourself in. What's even cooler as well is that there's like little notches cut out of the side of it as well for people who wear glasses. And if you don't wear glasses, it collapses even further onto your face, so there's no light leak. It's just little things like that. You're like, you've really thought about this. Really thought about this. And then there's like a dial as well, so you can adjust the distance between for your individual pupils. It's such a good experience. So the headset itself is fantastic. The controllers, they are great. I like them a lot.
Do they feel more like a first gen attempt? Or like a Gen 2?
Only in the sense of battery life.
Right.
They are quite short. Now, I could probably play for about 3 hours or so, something like that, then they need to be charged.
Yeah, that's not too bad, but in 2 years' time, how long is that going to be?
Exactly. Battery degradation is going to kick in. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that plays 8 hours straight in VR. I think that's a bit too like tiresome because it does take a bit of effort to be in VR.
Agreed.
Especially in games like Call of the Mountain. Call of the Mountain, people are calling it climbing simulator, but they're being a little bit, there's a little bit of, but there is a lot of climbing. However, you have to do it with your hands. So I'm just like, I'm actually having a fucking workout like this.
Okay.
I'm like, so I could never be in VR for 8 hours doing that.
Yeah, with you.
But the controllers are good. The one thing about the controllers, they've got the finger tracking, right?
Yeah.
But they have to be, your fingers have to be in a certain position. So like, if you hold it if you hold it like that and you put your thumbs over the buttons, not pushing them, but over the buttons, it detects that you've closed your hands.
Right.
If you lift up your thumbs, then it lifts up, and if you lift up your fingers, you do that.
Okay.
However, your mind can't really, or maybe it's just me, you can't detach from the fact that you've got something in your hand. So wanting to let go of something isn't really natural because you've got controllers in your hand. You don't want to let go so you can open up your hands. Now, granted, you're not...
the gloves.
That's what you would need, innit? That's what you would need. Now, granted, you're not doing anything in the game that requires for you to open up your hands and grab like that. It's usually grab with the buttons that you're pressing because that's how it gets its feedback and stuff like that. But that's one thing that I was thinking. I was trying to do hand motions and I was like, I don't want to... I can't do that. Do you want to hold them, by the way, so you can like at least have a look at them anyway while we're talking and stuff? I'll give you that one well.
I think... the next gen should be gloves, where effectively it's like this.
Yeah.
And they're gloves, and then if you need to close anything, that's where your fingers are, but then each finger could move individually. I mean, this is for next generation or the gen after that. But I mean, this actually, that's quite ergonomic. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they are quite comfortable, right? And this is the thing with the battery life thing. I wonder if they did try bigger batteries, but
Oh,
then...
do you know what? I really don't like that. Just something in my brain. I don't like having triangle and square there on my left hand.
This is a thing.
I don't like that.
This is
I
another
don't
thing.
like that. It's giving me a minor headache. Like not a headache, but I'm like, that is not where it's supposed to be.
For me, I get what you mean because it's on the other hand.
Yeah.
Right? Normally, when you're holding a controller, it's all on your right thumb,
Yeah.
and you know it is. But it's now
I
it's
feel like-
half of it's on your left and half of it's on your right.
What I feel like is somebody's just handed me the controller to play COD, and they're disgusting and not pro fighter pilots like myself, and they're not inverted. So you know, like, they're like, don't change it. So you're having to play in and ups down and downs up.
Right.
It feels like I'm trying to play on it, you know, inverted to what I'm used to. That's what that feels like. I don't like that at all. Not at all. I really don't like that.
It's how
They're
many years
surprisingly light though. Actually, consider 3 hours of battery life out of that's not too
That's
bad.
what I was gonna say. That I bet they had thought sometimes to include a bigger battery life,
Yeah.
but then it got more heavier, and then that was a con, and they decided to go for a middle point.
I could see that.
Maybe it would have been okay to add maybe an extra hour's worth of capacity and make just a little bit larger.
Yeah,
but
I can feel that.
it's not the end of the world. However, I do know that thing is that I've never had a problem with my controllers, for example, with my DualSense controllers. But a lot of people complain about the life of those as well, and I'm just like, I'm not one of those people. So I'm only mentioning it purely because other people have mentioned it, and I've tested it, and I'm like, cool, it is about 3 hours, something like that. So it doesn't bother me exactly because I don't play for that long. But there you go. And also, I've got the charging dock thing over here. It seems to charge really quickly. Granted, it's a small battery, so probably why, but it seems to charge really quickly. What else can I say about the headset?
Well, let me sort of we'll go back a step and say, so we've both played the PSVR 1. You lived with the PSVR 1.
I did, yes.
But we've also had the chance to play, I mean, not extensively, but to experience other systems. So we played the Oculus a few times at EGX. We've played with an Oculus, Oculus, and we played with, what's the other one? Not the stupid Facebook thing. There was another thing that's like a competitor to Oculus.
HTC Vive?
The Vive. We played the Vive with Iron Man. That was running on the Vive.
we did. Yeah.
So we've seen, we've
Like a tech
experienced. Yeah. So we've experienced the Vive, the Oculus. You lived with the PSVR 1, and now you're living with the PSVR 2. So it's not that this isn't a no comparison whatsoever. You just that obviously you haven't lived with the other two, so you don't know what the like little niggling problems are. But in terms of like performance and capacity and capability, I'm guessing the PSVR 2 shits all over them.
That's the thing. It really does. Now,
I mean, obviously console always better than computer.
exactly.
Emphasis on the poo.
Right. The thing about the biggest complaint that a lot of people have had, granted, I feel like these are, we live in the age of people just perpetually
No one's ever happy. Yeah.
Exactly. Everyone's complaining about something.
Yeah.
And some people would like to complain even if they're not involved in the thing or if they're not going to be involved in the thing.
Gotta love them.
So people are complaining that it has a wire. And I was like...
Yeah. There's also
like-
wires inside it.
I feel like the fidelity is the good trade-off because I've tried we call it Oculus, but technically it's Meta because it belongs to the new Facebook.
No, it's an Oculus.
The Quest 2, right? I've
Yeah.
tried that, and it's fantastic being freed of cables. It's a great feeling. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But everything looks like a crappy mobile game.
Yeah, and also, how long is the battery life? We one of our complaints here is the battery life of the controllers.
That's another thing.
How heavy is it as well? Because that's lighter than the others.
Exactly. So these are all things to think of, and it doesn't have anywhere near the cutting edge technology like the haptic feedbacks in the headset, in the controllers. It doesn't have the foveated rendering. It doesn't have the eye tracking technology. It doesn't have the pupil distance dial and whatnot. All of these really cool things it doesn't have, but it doesn't have a wire as well. And I'm like, cool. The wire thing is really good. It's very freeing. But the trade-off is fidelity and all these other cool features and all these other cool things.
No, you're saying it way too gently. The trade-off is not fidelity. The trade-off is your product looks like shit. It looks crap. And the reality is That's not just HD. That's like
It's
1440.
4K per eye. in
4K
this
per
thing.
eye. I thought it was 1440 per eye.
No, it's 4K per eye. It's the highest resolution headset out there. I think it beats every other headset, including the Valve Index, including every other headset.
That's the only one we haven't played, I think.
Yeah, I haven't played. I think that's like $2,000, something like that, but it's pretty expensive. Anyway, or is that maybe the new MetaQuest? I'm not sure 100%. It beats every other metric. The only thing that it doesn't beat is the field of view. I think the highest is 130 and this is 110. So it's not a huge difference, but it has been beaten in that
It's
department.
only 110 at 4K on both eyes.
I think it's fantastic. And the worst part is that usually it's people that are complaining, like PC gamers that are complaining. I'm like, you play with a PC drawing the most amount of power. That's essentially what's going on here. If you trade all of that for a Nintendo Switch, then trade your PC for a Nintendo Switch, and that's essentially what you're trying to do
Right, exactly.
Anyway, I think the cable was worth it. I may be the only one here outside of us right here, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, the games. I have been playing a fuck ton of Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Yep.
And a game called Cities VR. Do you remember I mentioned Cities VR?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
It's the city simulator where you're building your own city.
Yeah,
you're basically
effectively God.
My God, I am so... Do you know what I did yesterday? I set up my thing. I got on a real roll. I was making so much money from my residents and my districts and stuff like that. I was doing so great. And there was a demand for more water because there was more people in my town.
Yeah.
And I made a big mistake.
People need to drink.
Made a big mistake. I moved over my sewage system a bit over so I could put more water tanks in there.
Right.
However, you need to wait a little bit for the water to move on. So
No,
the sewage
it's
water,
fine. You just push water through your sewage
so
pipes.
the sewage water doesn't go to your thing.
You're a plumber.
I put it in there for
You're
maybe
a plumber in real life.
10 seconds. Everybody got sick. I had a population of like 150,000. It dropped to single digits. I was like, oh no, what? How
Actually
is this
single
possible?
digits.
Yeah, it's like I ruined everything, and I'm starting from scratch again. No, this is terrible. Anyway, I completely fucking up. But I had a huge amount of fun. The best game though, the best game that I've played so far, Horizon Call of the Mountain. Now, this is a first-party PlayStation game made by Firesprite, that new company that they acquired, and Guerrilla, and it is pretty fantastic. It's as well as it's like a showpiece for PlayStation VR2. It shows how great the headset is. Its full capabilities, uses every single possible aspect of it, including like foveated rendering, all the haptics, and it's got a bow in it. It's got all kinds of other like gadgets that you can use inside that really use the headset well, and it is fantastic. The mechs, it's a whole new level of scary, whole new level of being in the world of Horizon. When I first started the game, you saw the clip that I posted online where the walker was going, the tall neck, was going past me. That thing was genuinely huge. People don't understand this. When you're in VR, it's not the screen is in front of you and you're in that world.
Yeah.
You also have 3D because a little lesson on how eyes work. The reason why you can see 3D is because you can see things from two different perspectives and you can judge distance based on those.
Yeah.
That's what happens inside a headset. So everything's in 3D as well. Not like 3D movies because they're kind of crappy. They're trying to convert something for you. But this is like how your eyes see it and how you can tell depth of something. So if that thing was really in real life, you'd be able, if you stand up to a skyscraper, you can tell how tall the skyscraper is. That's what's happening in this game. Now, in the game, in Forbidden West and Zero Dawn, you don't feel like they're that tall. You feel like that's pretty tall.
Yeah. It feels like it's 5 or 6 times taller than Aloy.
Right. You're like, okay, these are big things. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. But when you're there,
Yeah, I bet.
oh my God, I'm just like, look at the size of this. And then the Thunderjaw, when that came, it was a part of the game where it was chasing me. Oh my God, it was something completely else. Something else completely, I should say. That was an amazing experience. However,
okay,
this is not a knock on this game.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is a knock.
Aloy's still shit.
I wanted to read out Adam's question right here. He wrote in on our Discord server, just like you guys can, and he says, "Okay, although the technology of PlayStation VR2 seems incredible, the current game library, or rather lack thereof, makes me unsure about getting it for that hefty price, which is quite expensive, guys. I think it's like $550 or something like that. Sorry, $600, £550, something like that.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's not. Also, while I understand the technology is vastly different, but it's such a bummer that you can't play PlayStation VR1 games on it as well, because of that. Playing Skyrim in VR will likely never be something I can do, since I doubt Microsoft won't ever let a Bethesda port to PSVR2. That's true. It's unlikely to happen, seeing as they're owned by Xbox now. It feels like getting a PlayStation VR2 now is more of an investment into the future of the device rather than the few games it has now, which I admit many look great, like Call of the Mountain, but many also look like demos. So I'll wait and see if companies do take advantage of VR, or if it'll be mostly abandoned in a year or two before buying it. I hope you're having a great time with it, though, Eddie. That's my point. So where he says here the lack of games, current game library, I don't think there's a current lack of game library, because it's a launch of effectively a console.
Yeah.
When a console launches, there's only really like one or two games
things that were developed by the initial people approach to do the launch titles.
Right. And there's a couple of people in there that are riding on the coattails of it, where they're not really a next gen game, but then they put a port in there or something that. And that's exactly what's happening now. There's there are some games being ported over from Oculus Quest, and I'm like, these look awful. Like you haven't done anything other than just put it onto the system, and it's crap. It's a bullshit attempt, and I won't buy those games. And then there's these flagship games like Call of the Mountain. The future, however, is where it all depends, and this is the uncertain part. I've gone into this, but there's no guarantee that this is going to carry on and we're going to get big games like Call of the Mountain. I hope we do. I hope Sony continues to fund it.
Yeah.
However, it is possible that the initial inception of the idea of the PlayStation VR2 came at a completely different time.
Yeah.
Like probably around about prior to COVID time, where they did all the R&D and investment and everything like that. And then we're in a very different world right now where people don't have £600 to spend on
economically strapped than 2019. Yeah.
Exactly. So they're like, if they were to come up now and they were to go, we're going to make a new VR headset, they might turn around and go, it's just not feasible.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible.
Well, like the games don't sell anywhere near as well, and we need to invest in games that are going to provide us more money.
Exactly. And when they're on the other side where they're making games that sell bangers, like God of War that sold 20 million in 12 weeks.
It wasn't Game of the Year, so I don't know what you're talking
11
about.
million, I think it was. The bigger,
I know what you're talking about.
It's true, it's not a good game. It didn't win Game of the Year. It's worth something. Anyway, it sold a bunch of copies like that. TV shows, which are doing fantastic, like The Last of Us and stuff like that.
I am still not up to date.
I'm not up to date as well. But people are saying it's doing amazing. In today's world, I don't know if this headset would get made.
Yeah.
However, it has been made.
Yeah. This is the beauty of R&D cycles.
Is it going to be supported?
Yeah,
is it?
fingers crossed.
Who knows? Like, will PlayStation divert funds and resources to make the next big VR game like Call of the Mountain when they could spend it on something else?
Two
that
points.
They know better people will pay.
2 points that I'm noticing. One, specifically regarding Call of the West.
Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountains. One, initially there were a lot of people. People wanted to complain about Aloy for stupid reasons, like she's a girl, right?
Yeah.
Or like the complaint, which they didn't realize they were idiots, was that she had that mouse hair on her face.
Oh yeah.
It's like, first of all, you've obviously never been near a woman. And second of all, actually, that is like showing you how monstrously powerful the PS5 is.
Yeah.
That's just part of that's the in-game, because if you go photo mode, all of that's there, right? But so one of the complaints was, well, she's a girl, and like girls can't do that, girls can't fight. It's a giant mechanical T-Rex. And I think now I feel much more vindicated because, like you said, the mechs, like suddenly you're getting a feel for the scale, and the fact that she can deadlift 100 kilos and you and me can deadlift like 150 or whatever it is, like that doesn't mean anything. It's a Robo T-Rex.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have any impact. And two, PlayStation lead the way, and this is not a Sony pony shill moment, right? It is no one else is putting out this kind of effort. Sony have shown us that it can be done. Call of the West, look, I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the original game. I haven't played it. It's not as good as the original game. It's more experiential than it is a game and an entertainment experience. But, like, it can be done. This is what can be done with this equipment and in this medium. I mean, this is from me observing other people playing it. It looks to me to be the best VR experience out there. Like, bar none, excepting maybe, like, okay, you're a Star Wars nerd and you like the Star Wars game, but like it's accepting stuff that you're like just in love with. This seems to be the best experience out there, bar none.
It really,
does that seem fair?
It really is fantastic. The only other thing that maybe compares to it, but it's a little bit different, is that I also played GT7 in VR.
Yeah, I mean,
now
made me feel sick even just watching you guys play. But yeah, and you, in fairness, well, you playing it and you have the car, you've got the seat and
the steering wheel with the pedals and the seat and everything like that. The thing that is great about that VR unlocks. So there's a couple of guys that I follow that are really into GT7, and they have like competitions between each other, between friends.
That's cool.
Well, says the guy who plays D&D.
yeah. That's how uncool it is. I'm throwing shade.
They have competitions between each other and they like compare times, and I never engage with it because I'm not interested in that kind of thing, but I see them. Then a couple of them got a VR headset and their times dramatically improved. And the reason for that is because if you're a driver, there's things you do instinctively when driving a car that aid to your perception of everything going on around you.
Yeah, well, looking around and
And when I'm a driver, I've been driving for a long time, and I feel like I'm a good driver, and I can drive fast when the time calls for it, like when I'm getting away from the police.
Right.
And when I'm in the car, I'm doing things that are just instinctively, like I'm going up to a corner and I'll look out the mirror. Sorry, I look at the mirror to see what's behind me. I'll look out the side window when I'm going around a corner to perceive things.
Yeah.
When you're
so
on
you
a
can see what's coming up as you're going around it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're on a flat TV, if you're in the cockpit, you don't get that information from the sides, or you're gonna have to do it from the very far back, and that's a very alien spot as well.
You're effectively cheating in comparison to like just console players, because where they only get the camera where it's behind or in the cockpit, you're able to like look out the window and see what's coming next as you go around the corner.
Exactly.
Effectively. So hacks.
It's all these extra little things, and I was like, wow.
How much time did they improve by?
A good couple of seconds. And these are people who are doing it over and over again, really competitive with each other. So they've like got the track down to a perfect, when to brake, when to accelerate.
They know when to brake, how hard to brake, when to cut into that corner, how steep you can take that hairpin.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's extra things as well. So like, when you're playing on a 2D TV, you've got the lap time, you've got the map, you've got the gauge at the bottom, you've got the radio, whatever's playing on there. It takes up a lot of space. When you're in VR, you've got just barely like at the top of the cockpit, just sort of like your laps and how much things are going on. On the where the sat nav is, you've got your map and whatnot. Cool. And the rest of the dials are all there. Yeah. And it's just like being in a car, and I have all this extra space to look out and see things. And I'm like, this is all just so perfect.
That's
and
cool.
The car looks fantastic.
I'm already feeling seasick, but that's cool.
But that's another example of like a really good game. That one is surprisingly good because it's a retrofit. Like I'm sure they did think about it in advance because it is a PlayStation property at the end of the day. But it's like they made the game and they went, okay, now slap a VR mode in it, and surprisingly, it's very good. Anyway, those two are fantastic, and they really are.
I went out on a limb and said Horizon, but again, the point, Sony leads the way.
Yeah.
And I would expect racing games like that to be effectively FIFA's. Like, not going to be very hard to and not to take anything away from the devs, but like it seems like just an immediately winning recipe, right? Cool car models, put people in the car, you got the tracks, boom, you're done, right? It's
a game that allows, I think, I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't want to say this isn't a negative thing or anything like that. Please don't take it bad way. But racing games seem like a game that for developers would allow a lot of passion, because it's like you make a car, you make a racing track, and once you make the physics of it, you can apply it to a lot of things. And then it's all about the passion of driving and fine-tuning little things because
making it feel right.
because you maybe really love cars or something like that. It's kind of like a car maker. It's like, I'm gonna like fine-tune this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, and that's where the passion comes through. Whereas like when you're making a more complex game with a story and various mechanics and a world and design and stuff like that, maybe it's a bit more involved. There is still passion there, but it's a bit more.
It seems like for something like a car game, and this is why they are graphical masterpieces, is that you can just focus on the minutiae because there are so few moving parts, i.e. in the actual experience. Like, there's no story, shut up, Alpha. Don't even try. Like, there's no story, you just need a few maps and the cars need to look and sound good. This is another thing, they're masterpieces of sound capture, you know? Yeah. They are those audiophile nerds' wet dreams.
Yes.
Right? And I'm sure there is stuff that I think, like, I wouldn't be surprised to find that you could do, like, an X-ray mode and find out that actually all the engines are actually functioning in the game.
Wouldn't that be fucking great?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because that's how much they
game
love it.
Game devs are nerds, and especially if you're like passionate about cars and a game dev, I could totally believe that they actually work like that.
I built a V12 and I put it in this thing.
I could genuinely believe that a game like Forza or GT7, like instead of cars having stats as to how they accelerate, they build the engines and then they work that way. I could believe
they work out the theoretical math and that's how they go.
I could believe that that's why the power curves are the way they are, right? And whether or not the turbo kicks in because it's actually spinning. I could totally believe that. And that, again, is not a counterpoint. That is even more a point to what you're saying, which is that, like, they can do all of that because nothing else matters. There's nothing to ruin. There's no story that it interrupts. There's no, you know, there are no quests. There's nothing you have to worry about. Like, how does it interact with others? You just need collision physics and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you know, I talk in my job. My throat's knackered. Plus all the... Right, exactly.
All the... Yeah,
exactly. Talking of deep throating...
Before we go on to that,
What a transition, yeah, please.
It was a beautiful transition, I was saying.
Save me from it.
So, to sort of wrap up my feelings on the PlayStation VR2, I wouldn't recommend it. Don't do it. That's why I have Isla. You'll have an Isla in your life. Go on, don't wrap up.
Right.
I think it is a very, very, very good piece of tech. I really, really love my tech, and I really do like VR. I'm not one of the people that get sick in VR, so that's obviously a point of contention for a lot of people. But that's so individual based that I can't speak to that.
As someone that does get sick, I also still like VR. It's just not for me. Same with Sifu and Elden Ring Game of the Year, best game ever made.
Best game ever made. It's such a unique experience that you don't get from any other game. And it's also, that 3D thing that you just can't get your head around it until you try it. You may think, oh, it sounds cool, but you need to be in it. When you're in it, you will understand what I mean by that and how it changes everything.
If you're watching like videos that your favorite content creators are putting up on Twitter or YouTube, it is not even close. That is not what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Right? You're seeing a 2D rendering of a thing, right? As opposed to actually being there. It's
some people think that you put on a VR headset and it's just a screen around you, like wrapping around you. It's not that. It's more you're in there. There's depth to it.
We played that Batman game. You had that for a bit, and I nearly fell over the edge of the tower. Do you know, I was like,
let me look over here.
Like you said, it isn't a screen.
Yeah.
It's not like looking at a picture. You know, for example, if you've ever gone on holiday, you'll probably be doing this. No, you're going to LA. Like, if you look at a picture of the skyscrapers in New York looking up from the street, and then you go and look up, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Right? You're actually there in it. They're around you. You can perceive how tall they are. A picture, even with, 3D depth, you just know that they're tall. You understand that you're looking at perspective, but you're not involved in it. And VR puts you in it.
Yeah.
So... fan of VR, it's just not for, again, maybe they'll cure, or maybe the seasickness thing is a setting. I mean, who knows?
I think it's just to do with everyone's different. I think some people are more susceptible to it, some people aren't, and it's just one of them things. Yeah. Which I have to say, before you buy any headset, go and try VR. Because it would suck if you spend £600,
especially,
and you nausea straight away.
Especially if you're interested in like racing games or anything like that. Because I feel like I probably could play the Horizon, wherever the frick that one's called.
Call of the Mountain.
Call of the West. That's the one. the reason I sort of don't do the VR thing is, one, I actually would jump out of the way of the Thunderjaw. Not maybe in the first 10 minutes, but if immersion is good enough, I will do that. I do find myself like trying to dodge out of the way of stuff in game. Not often, but every now and then it happens. And if I'm in VR, I will jump through a door.
You're one of those grandmas that run at the wall when they see something in those fail videos.
I mean, but like anyway, that would cause issues for me. But so I probably wouldn't get seasick. I probably would enjoy that, but I'd just be like walking around or whatever. If you're interested in racing games, you have to try one for a good amount of time, because I mean, I just, my brain can't hack the fact that there is no momentum.
Yeah, you don't feel
so you're going around a corner and you might have haptic feedback or something, but just like you're moving, but you're not moving. And, well, I mean, another thing, it could be because we drive.
Yeah.
And that could make it worse for me, where somebody else who doesn't drive but is similar to me would be like, oh, they don't know any better, effectively.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely try that first. Don't just go and spunk like 600-700 quid in these
Definitely
things.
try it.
Yeah, 100%.
So as I was saying, I think the headset is very, very good. It's a very, very good piece of tech. It has a lot of really, really cool features in it. That eye tracking thing, this is something. There's a game coming out called Switchback VR from the guys who made Until Dawn.
Yeah.
There is essentially what the game is. It's almost like a roller coaster. You're sitting in a seat. And
That sounds great.
And you're being like moved around.
Yeah.
And you have these guns and you shoot things as you're going around.
Yeah. We played that.
There was a game like that on PSVR2.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't too bad.
And there's this one area I've seen in one of their trailers, and it says on the door before you get wheeled in, it says, "Don't blink."
Okay.
And you go into the room and it's full of mannequins.
That's nightmare fuel already.
And when you blink in the headset,
because
it can track your eyes.
I don't want to know.
And there's this urge, just like okay. I'm not gonna blink.
I'm out.
And then you just blink because you need to blink, and then they move again to your face. You're like, no.
That's awful.
That's good use of the eye tracking technology right there.
That's horrendous. That is horrendous.
The foveated rendering, I haven't been able to trick it yet because I tried to like push it to the limit, like look each side to see if I can catch the rendering technology, but it's just so quick that it renders things before I can look at it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The controllers, while I do have a gripe about the battery life is a bit short, and the unnatural feeling of wanting to let go. To be fair, there's not many things that you do let go in, so there's that. But it is still, you have to have a form of input, so controllers are there. That is still very good, though, in terms of tracking. The headset is impeccable in tracking your surroundings. I've never had a problem with that. Everything else seems so perfect.
Can't wait to find all the glitches in it.
The only things that I'm gonna be warn people about. One, if you've got a large beak like me, if you've got a big nose like me, you can. Sometimes I'm wearing the headset and I'm like, I can feel it like resting on my nose here. And it's sort of very comfortable feeling after about like an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you've got a big beak, that's something to consider as well. Obviously, you don't know until you put the headset on and try it. And then the other thing is just the games. I just need to know that it's going to be supported in the future. There's a game coming out that I'm looking forward to, that Switchback VR, and also Horizon.
Use your words.
Firewall Ultra.
Okay.
It's the sequel to Firewall 0 Hour, which was essentially Call of Duty, but in VR.
Mm-hmm.
It's been announced that it's running on Unreal Engine 5. It's going to be in VR. It's made by a development studio that I really, really like, First Contact Entertainment. I think these guys are great. I think this is going to be a good game.
Unreal Engine 5 is the nuts.
Already, I'm excited just by hearing that. However, we don't know anything beyond that.
Yeah.
I really hope it goes further. I really hope we get some really cool stuff. Even if it's maybe we go to God of War. Maybe we have like a little experience in that. Maybe we go somewhere else. I just hope it isn't dropped. That's the only thing that I'm worried about. Like I said, the new landscape that we're in and stuff like that. And who knows how well it's selling, because it is an expensive headset.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
I think I'll be honest, just for the tech, I do genuinely think it's worth the money. Like glass isn't cheap. Anybody that has glasses would know this.
Yeah.
Glass alone isn't cheap. How expensive are those phone screens? Right?
And these are like lenses that you put in a camera almost, like really like...
Yeah. I'm not saying that you guys should go out and get it as like a collector's piece. I don't think it's that at all. But if you were into tech, I think this is a cool piece of history. Or will be a cool piece of history in 10, 15 years. Yeah. No matter what happens to VR, where like our buddy Harry collects like
vintage
consoles and games and stuff. There is stuff that he has just because it's cool and was like a cool thing in the world.
Yeah.
That like no one plays, it wasn't very good, but it was like it's a cool piece of history. I do think this is that. No matter what happens to it, this will either be Genesis of like the real next gen of VR, or it will be like the flash in the pan, the one bright light of VR. Plus, what was it? Homework of the West or Call of Your Mum.
Call of the Mountain.
That's one. It is cool.
Yeah.
That GT7 again, really, really aggressively not for me, but looked really good. You know, so yeah, I think if you're into it, or if you suddenly get like a windfall, or you get a new job and you get tons of money, you think, oh, you know what,
give it a shot.
Yeah, there's definitely worse ways to spend money. I'll put it this way: I know people that like, there's, you know, the work to live to work. All they do is like go to the pub Friday through Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Those guys spend 100 to 200 quid every week in the pub, just trying to forget the week.
Yeah.
So realistically, 1 to 2 months of not doing that, and you have one of these, and I think that's better for you.
Yeah, you have experiences that you wouldn't get.
So there's worse ways to spend the money, is all I'm saying. Yeah.
I have a couple of questions from Twitter. I asked
buddy.
people if they have any questions and stuff like that, and I thought I'd answer some of those. T asked the question, hypothetically speaking, since the controllers detect finger placement, can we finally fist... Oh, okay, listen. He was talking about the vampires in RE8. Do you know what? I wrote on Twitter that I played RE8, but I haven't. I've got RE8. I haven't tried that yet. And apparently, well, you know the beginning of RE8 with the... big milky mamas and stuff like that.
Mummy.
I think we're gonna have to have some fun right there. Alpha Aquila.
I will be interested to see the prawn that they make for that sort of.
Did I told
Does
you
it have
last
auto
week,
blow integration?
It does, yes. Officially Sony licensed. Alpha Aquila wrote in, he said, what's it like watching Zack Snyder's Justice League in virtual cinema in VR?
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
So that's something that you don't know as well, people, if you haven't had a VR headset. You can set up like your own IMAX screen inside the VR headset.
Cool.
And everything else is black, and you just watch the movie in there, and it's 2 4K screens right up in your face, so... I mean,
never mind. Quality. Worth the investment.
It's like HDR. And it's completely private as well. You can put anything you want in there. No one else will tell what you're watching.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got
Justice
your thing
League
out as well, then it's not going to really.
I mean, is there anything better than Zack Snyder's Justice League?
No, I don't think so. Kirak Odinson wrote in saying, "How do normal PlayStation 5 games play on it?" I've played PlayStation 5 games on it, and it is, like I said, it's like playing on one of the biggest screens. However, you do have something on your face. So,
yeah.
Is it... I mean, if you've got a TV, go for a TV.
That's the thing.
You have the less strain on your face.
For example, playing Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've been jamming... obviously, you've been jamming it.
It's all right. I can't even joke about that anymore.
Yeah. If I'm hanging out at home, I've got Krakens, I think. They are better than my TV sound. Do you know what's really not better than TV sound? Having Krakens on your head for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they get hot, they're heavy, I mean, relatively speaking. And I'm not, like, engaged. Like, if I'm playing Apex or COD for 3 hours, like, I'm doing something, constantly focusing on new things. Yeah. So I'm not thinking about my headset. But if I'm jamming Harry Potter, or whatever it's called, Hogwarts Legacy, that's the one. Half the time I'm just running around Hogwarts just to hang out and see what's there. And
you don't need them.
Yeah, you just don't, exactly. It's just not needed. So I could see that being a huge downside to that. So like, yes, there's Justice League in like 4K, But also, you have to have a headset on for 4 hours to experience that. So
exactly,
yeah,
that's the downside there. But it is HDR. If you don't have a HDR TV, which most TVs are HDR now, but if you don't have one, then that's another way to experience like new colors and stuff like that, a new level of fidelity. Cass said I should play Pavlov, which is an FPS as well. I've seen good videos on it. I haven't tried it yet, but I will get back to you. And he says, my question though, my question though is how does it look like?
my question is, how does it look?
I think it might be how does it look?
Yeah.
The question is, how does it look when it's on your face? I've tried MetaQuest 2 recently, and it was pretty blurry sometimes, but that's because it's very awkward to see through the correct placement, which looks much easier on PlayStation VR 2. That's another thing as well. So, like, it's got the pupil distance adjustment, so you can find the perfect sweet spot, regardless of how wide apart your eyes are. Everyone's different. And MetaQuest 2, it is running on a phone processor essentially there, so it can't have really high fidelity. That's why it looks so blurry. This is a massive step up from MetaQuest 2. I will say, if you've ever had even a 4K TV, if you were to get a 4K monitor, let's say, and you were to push your face right up against it, it's not going to be as good as taking maybe half a step back.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing. You do have like computer screens right plastered to your face like that.
Yeah.
Now they are perfectly done, and the number and the pixel density is at a really good ratio that you don't see like pixels and things like that. But imagine you do have like a thing right there. However, when you're seeing the good character models of a good game like Horizon Call of the Mountain, and I'm seeing Aloy throw a bucket of water in my face, which she does do in the game.
Yeah. That was very like a Skyrim intro, wasn't it?
That's what people said to me. They were like, is this the intro to Skyrim?
It does feel that way. Question for you.
So when you get that, it looks fantastic because they're really good detailed character models and stuff like that.
Also, I like that you're not Aloy.
Yes.
I feel like that adds so much to... Like, also because one of the things that I like about... one of the reasons I think the Harry Potter books were so successful is because I feel like there's actually 4 kids and you're the 4th kid, but they never directly speak to you, right? Okay. You're sort of always there for the adventure and you just always end up tagging along with Harry, right? That's one of it. There was just that feel. I don't think she's that good of an author. I think it just happened by accident.
Yeah.
And
I like that no one else thinks that, but you think that. I don't know.
I like the idea that although you play through as Aloy, that like you're more along for the ride in the game, whereas you're supposed to be there as the friend helping out, right? Like she's the main character, you're detached from her. And this is cool because it's like, hey, you're in the world. This is the world that you did all those things as Aloy with, and you're now actually in it. You're not playing as somebody else, you're playing as you. You're here now. You know, you wake up from stasis or whatever, and boom, Aloy's throwing water in your face. You know? So I thought it was cool.
It is cool. It is. And it has its own unique story of like why you're there, who you are, and what your role is, and how you stumble upon these machines and stumble upon these things. So I think it's well done.
Question for you, because you mentioned if someone doesn't have like an HD TV or something, they could use that for this stuff. So you could play regular games through that headset.
Yes.
How does that work because of the foveated rendering and stuff?
When it comes to that, it turns
it all off.
Exactly.
Okay,
So then it just becomes...
What about, there's no dead spots?
There's no dead spots. No. It's imagine
it's just that
the screen sticks in one spot.
Cool.
And then you move around like that, and it's still in the same spot.
Cool.
And you can adjust the size of it so you can make it like bigger and smaller.
And that's what I'm saying. The screen sticks.
Exactly.
And then you just adjust it so that it's perfect, and you're not gonna like...
Yeah.
Because then you're looking out over your TV.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's how it is.
That's another potential way to, again, if you don't mind about the headset weight, cheaper than the TV.
Yeah. And some TVs are... I mean, to get OLED 4K HDR...
Cheaper
You're spending like thousands of pounds.
Cheaper than the TV.
And then one final question. Okay, real question time. How well do the new features work, like the finger tracking, camera pass through, eye tracking, etc.? Like I said, the eye tracking seems to be phenomenal. I tried to trick it so many times, I couldn't catch up to it. The finger tracking is good. It's just, as I said, you've got something in your hand, so you don't want to open up all your fingers, and then you're like doing things wrong, like you're like
Trying to figure out how your Spider-Man web comes out.
Exactly, you're like like that. The camera pass-through. Now, this is a cool thing that I didn't talk about. There's a button just underneath the headset, just here. And when you press it, it essentially does a black and white image of the world around you so you can see where you're going and you can do things. So when my girl is like playing over here, she wants to talk to me for a second, boop, pauses the game and I can look around and go, oh yeah?
That's right, because it's got the external cameras.
It's got the external camera so it can look around. And it's not like looking through glass. It is just a little bit blurrier than that, but it's enough for me to be able to like read text messages. It's enough for me able to see where my controllers are, be able to adjust like a strap or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's very good. Oh, one thing I did want to say. So when you're standing, it sets like an area around you. It says look around the room so we can set like where your obstacles are. You look around and it does this like beautiful mapping thing and it finds like an area, etc., etc. When you're sitting down though, it sets like a given radius around you and it says don't go beyond this thing.
Okay.
It's a little small and you can't adjust it, which is a bit annoying. And sometimes when I'm in like Horizon, like I'll sit down and I'll play I just don't want to stand, especially in here, because then I'll like fucking hit the ceiling.
Ceiling's low.
It's lower in here. So I sit down and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach over to a ledge like that. And it shows me like the red ring and the mesh that I'm going outside of the play area. And I'm like, I'm not that far out. I'm only like an arm's reach out. Surely you can let me do that. So I wish that was just a little bit further out. I wish that was. But that's one thing right there. But other than that, the other stuff is really cool. The camera pass-through thing is really, really cool. And the fact that it's just a touch of a button as well, it's just...
That is cool.
It's really, really good.
That is very cool. Although you kind of have to now be careful of the outside of it as well as the inside of it.
That's a good... Do you know what? I've been thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, what if I like scratch one of the cameras?
Yeah. Game
over. Game over.
That's going to be rough.
How are you going to teach? You can't teach the headset not to use that camera to track because it's going to see things all distorted. Everything's going to fuck up. It is game over.
So you have to be very delicate.
Very delicate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going on. And it feels very comfortable with glasses in case you guys are wondering as well because I wear glasses.
Yeah. I say fuck the blind. But,
you know what? If I wasn't such a little bitch about... things going near my eyes.
No, I totally agree with you. I wouldn't be anywhere near contacts. Fuck that.
Well, contacts is one thing as well. I can't do contacts, but I can't also do... I've watched people do like laser eye surgery.
No.
I don't know how they do it. I watched my mum do it, and I was like, he's got metal things in your eye, and then he's firing a laser at your eye.
No.
At what point do you just... I mean, if you could knock me out...
I'd have to go under.
Yeah,
I'd have to go under.
Please.
I'd have to go under.
I beg you. How much more is it?
I would have to go
under. £200? I'll take it.
Yeah.
£1,000? Fuck it. If I'm going this far...
For my eyesight to actually get it done and forget like, whether or not it's like better for the surgery, so I don't have to be there while you're doing the thing, put me under.
I just want to wake up with 20/20 vision, that's all.
Yeah. Put me under. Put me under. Or it's not happening. It's not happening. You try and put something in my eyes, we're fighting.
Yeah, I'm so
We're
mad.
fighting.
I can't even do... I got these eye drops because one of my optician said, like, you got very dry eyes, you should use eye drops. And I was like, maybe that's why I'm, like, so bad sometimes that I have to, like, always rub my eyes.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing the eye drops, and I'm like... Oh, no, God, I can't do it. Oh, no, I can't do it. And I'm not making just the round of my eye wet.
Nah, I feel that.
Anyway, so yeah, glasses all
the way I do it is if you go to the pink bit in your eye that wicks water into your eye.
It will what's that capillary action? Just take it all in.
That's one thing. And then also you have to look in towards your nose for that eye.
Oh.
I don't know why. If you look out, you're seeing the whole thing, but if you're looking into your nose, it's much easier to not look at the thing, and then you're trying to get away from it, but it's like chasing you. If you try and get away from it this way, it goes into your face.
Interesting. I didn't think about it because
this is two people that hate stuff going near our eyes. Yeah.
I hope this turns out to be the thing that I have with my because I couldn't swallow pills.
Yeah, this is a real thing.
And now I couldn't swallow pills. It was the most difficult thing, even though like I can swallow like a Haribo straw, but that's like this fucking big.
Yeah.
I can swallow it, no problem. But when it came to pills, psychologically, I just couldn't do it. And now I'm like 4 pills at a time. A sip of water.
At least you do it what? Man, I have to do, like, even paracetamol, I'll snap them in half. If they're round paracetamols, I snap them into 4.
Jesus.
and then I'm like full mouthful of glug glug glug. Next lot of pills, glug glug glug
Glug, glug,
yeah.
glug, glug.
So it's weird how we both have the eye thing and the pill thing,
Yeah.
or had you.
Now I'm over
Some people. This is one thing I hate about movies. It's like, oh, you developed a pill that made you like 1,000 IQ. Okay, believable. How he takes it.
Is that done?
No, that's not how that works. Unbelievable. You know?
I don't know which one it was. It might have been Die Hard. Die Hard 3. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
And he takes a pill, and then he like slaps his neck.
Yeah, I don't know what
and I'm
that
like,
is.
Is that supposed to make it go down?
Also,
He's
like...
And I'm like, no, it was in Limitless. The bad guy that he has. He just think... And I'm like, is that supposed to help?
That doesn't do
I'll
anything.
try that. Nope, still in
No,
my mouth.
I just slap my neck. Especially if it's those capsules where I'm like, in my head, I'm like, if I don't have water, that's sticking.
Yeah.
And the pill's just going to be stuck in my throat. I'm like,
I took a Viagra and it got stuck in my neck. Now I've got a stiff neck.
Oh, no.
That joke. Okay.
Terrible.
Bro.
Yes.
This is the True Gamer Podcast. Coming to your eyes and ears every Sunday every other Sunday. Here on youtube.com/Conbrosations1. And on podcast services around the world. If you want to help us out over here, you guys can like the video, subscribe to the channel, and give us ratings like 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. Really appreciate that. If you guys, however, love the podcast so much and you want to take your support that extra step, want to go that further mile, I think they're backwards. I keep doing that wrong. You can head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations, where you can kick us a couple of bucks a month. They help keep the lights and mics on, and hopefully one day push us to the point where we can do this full time and do extra things, like maybe go back to those co-op gameplays, which were so fucking cool.
Oh, we missed. There were like 3 games we wanted to do, wasn't there? There was It Takes Two. There was that Prison Break one.
A Way Out.
A Way Out.
I did get a message from somebody. I don't know who they are, but clearly they enjoy our stuff. And they were like, "When's the next episode of Together B&B coming out?" Because I really liked that. It was super funny. And I was like, I wish life was that easy.
Did we record enough for there to be another episode? No, we maxed out.
Yeah. Oh. But if you do want to support us and you do want to kick us a couple of months, you could be one of the great true gamers who support us at the $5 tier and above, who get this podcast early, a day early, and get their name read out right here. Like Adam the High Quality Potato, Gams Master, Sheps is Crusty Rat Nut, Isak Manny, Mikey T, Sab2557, Joe McCormack, Gerald Tucker, Fishy, Jimheim. Oh, he's a new guy. Jimheim has
gaming,
bro. Adam Sunling, Max H, Alpha Aquilile, and Cobra SS. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Conversations. However, if you don't want to chuck us any money, we totally understand. This is fine if you would just want to listen to it for free. We love you regardless. Love you more than these guys anyway.
True.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, if you're into Findom though, check out the Patreon.
You should really check it out.
Another thing you get, one of the bonuses that wasn't mentioned, the True Game, not the True Game, but the Top Bro room on the Discord. It's like one of the top 3 rooms in the Discord.
I really like it in there.
It's probably the room I spend all my time in 3 rooms. I'm found in either the free rooms, show and tell, or the binge ball, the anime room.
Yeah, on Discord. Yeah.
Right, in Discord. Sorry, yeah. And the Top Bro chat. Those are the best chats.
Yeah.
So as little as $1 a month.
Do you want to know where I am mostly? Wherever people tag me in that ChatGPT made up
for God's sake.
list that everyone does. Everyone seems to include me in everything. What would you like? I remember Cryptic wrote one right when James Gunn was announcing all the DC stuff, and he was like, a conversation between Eddie and James Gunn, and it was like, really, it was like sympathetic. It was like, Eddie, I know we're not doing this that you really want us to do, but I hope you stick around. And then it's me like, yeah, sure, I'll stick around and see what happens.
I guess, that makes total sense.
And all these kinds of scenarios, and then they make up things like, I don't know, our romance, for example. And I'm like, that's totally not accurate. Making it up. It's totally not accurate. Our romance is far deeper than what you've written down.
Right, yeah.
ChatGPT can't grasp what we've got.
Human love.
Oh boy. Anyway, all that good stuff right there. By the way, I forgot to ask. So we have decided.
What?
You are going to be. You are going to be taking the the other PC.
Yeah, the streaming.
Do you
rig.
have any plans for it? Because I haven't spoken to you about it. Do you have any ideas?
Like,
Did you take? Because you're like, I want to do
my taxes?
that's it. Because that's what they're for. That's
Yeah.
what PCs are for.
So I have been thinking about streaming, obviously, because the big thing with my streams was that I was running them through the PS5,
Yes.
which meant that effectively all I had was the gameplay footage and then the chat, and it usually had to be on screen for me to, because it was one of the Twitch options, and that's no fun.
Yeah.
As to and this is one of the reasons I was going to ask you about the headset, is, Ghosts of Tsushima in 4K, but no, I don't know what I'm planning on. To be honest, just as test anyway, maybe just stream some Apex or something like that with the Beast rig. Also, I need to relearn mouse and keyboard movement and stuff. I mean, I put many, I was going to say hours, days on World of Warcraft, but it's not really a mobility type game,
Yeah.
So I would need to relearn that. But yeah, I think it'd be fun. I will tell you, we won't be doing it in summer. Even that we built that thing so it would stream in summer, it won't. And not at my place, not without AC. I just know that for a fact. My flat gets too hot. But before it gets too hot, it would be cool to do some maybe Apex, maybe. I've been toying with this idea of learning to code.
Okay.
Not for anything really massive, but a bit of me wants to do one of those just take James Gunn memes, tweets, and then have a bot that tweets out being like, "Look at this guy." Look at this fucking guy.
Being able to set up a script that can do that.
Yeah. Or as an example, James Gunn's the guy that fired Henry Cavill effectively, and Henry Cavill is the guy that just donated £1 million to help. I mean, okay, look, you can't win them all. He's helping ISIS and Turks, so you can't win them all, Henry. But freaking legend. The guy's a freaking legend. Actually being a hero in real life.
That's my Superman right there.
So anyway, a little bit of me wants to be type up a Twitter bot to be like, fucking James Gunn. Every time you tweet something, just...
I love that you're like...
Fuck James Gunn, at fuck James Gunn, and just retweets him, fuck you.
I want to learn this really cool, what's the word for it? Skill. I really want to learn this really... how do I learn miss this word? I want to learn this really cool skill.
Yeah.
And I want to completely divert it to hating something.
Yeah. Another thing, so this is one of those little projects I have in my head. If my car wasn't so old and just shitty, because I can't really overtake anyone, one of the things I wanted to do is set up an LED screen in the back that hotkeys so that when I overtake someone, I can press the button and it flashes up the actual speed limit.
Oh.
You know what it's like when you're on a single carriageway? Carriageway in the UK is 60 miles an hour, and people do 40 all the time.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to overtake someone and go 60, and then a sarcastic "You're doing good, bud."
Are you doing 60?
Right. As I'm just obviously doing 60 plus tax.
It's 66 done.
Yes, 60, and everybody pays tax, right?
Everybody.
66 minimum.
The reason why I was asking is because it would be cool if we could maybe both get in a game and both co-stream or something like that. Obviously up to you, and we have to work out a monitor situation and stuff like that. That's all to come in the future.
The other thing is maybe we could just stream here. But that's long, and it means leaving the PC here. And then...
It does, because it's a desktop.
It is a desktop. So if you guys have any suggestions, let us know. And I'm not streaming Skyrim. Get fricked, Isak. We're not streaming fucking Morrowind.
If you ask Isak, it's going to be
Morrowind.
Or if you ask Ben, it's going to be Minecraft. Or gosh,
thanks.
Just do play it safe.
Yeah.
Goes to Tsushima 24/7. Done. That's what we're going to do right now.
Yeah.
We all knew that was where it was going to go anyway, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be honest. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's kick on some of the smaller topics that happened in the world today. So...
Use your words.
I'm going to think which one to start with. Okay. Luminous Productions, the guys who made Forspoken,
Yeah.
have announced that they are merging with Square Enix and are being completely shut down.
I was going to say, that's bad news, bad news, bad. Oh, good.
There you go.
Like,
They're being completely merged, so that obviously the devs don't, at least what we think anyway, is that the devs aren't going to all lose their jobs and whatnot. They could all
I
be
hope not.
shuffled around and moved and hopefully work on better
Yeah.
projects and stuff like that. But after their first game as like their own studio, they're being shut down. How do you feel about
Well,
that?
the game sucked. Do you know what? That's not fair. In fairness, I didn't play it, and they did a lot of things right. Like the actress herself
Mhm.
seems to be incredibly wholesome, and the worst thing is, I don't think she's giving a bad performance.
No.
I think the performance itself is what is bad, i.e., like what she's been asked to do, what she's been asked to say. That always in my head is that one bit where she's like, I just did that with my mind, sort of thing, right? And the thing is, we don't know exactly when those lines were recorded, so it's very easy, and even on set, to perform something and not know how well it turned out. And I think a good example of this is like superheroes in superhero movies, or like, you know, doing laser beam eyes. Like, that's really awkward and looks terrible without special effects. With special effects, it looks amazing. Here's Henry Cavill doing the laser beam gif from like the Justice League.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
But with all the special effects, it looks amazing. And so something that looks and feels just awful and so unnatural in the moment can turn out so good. Same with lines that aren't delivered, you don't think you did a good, but based on how it's cut and how it's all shown, like, these things can turn out to be really good. So I don't think you would necessarily know you're making garbage.
Yeah.
And there's always the possibility that those lines, like her and the wrist thing that she has,
Thing, yeah.
like, those are very possibly not recorded at the same time.
Yeah.
So she has no idea how it sounds going backwards and forwards. It lands flat. And then
Yeah.
there's weird things like Harry Potter does it as well when you go to pet a cat. Do you know, why is that? Why is that a thing? But by the way, you know there's no achievement for spinning all of those globes.
There isn't. Oh.
I would have thought it would have been like, you spun 1,000 globes, or you
would-
globetrotter or something like that.
You would
Like,
think so, because they're all over the
Yeah.
fucking place.
no, it's just something that you're doing compulsively every time you run past.
You
her.
have to do it.
Of course you do. So, and also she's stunning, that actress for
The actress for
Forspoken.
Forspoken,
Yeah.
yeah.
So a lot of good decisions made there.
I'm a bit conflicted about this. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Square Enix fan. Like, I don't play the Final Fantasy games, for example.
Yeah.
However, I am really looking forward to Final Fantasy 16. The trailer looks amazing.
I
The
think
newest one that came out.
So you mean Final Fantasy IX remake?
No, I know you're a 9 simp. Okay,
I am a 9
But-
sim. Wames is playing 9.
is he?
And I've turned up to a bunch of it, and like every now and then, like at the beginning of the first one, I was like, make sure you do the sword dance thing, 'cause it sets you up with like 10,000 gil. It's really useful. I know all this stuff in it from like way back in the day. Anyway, sorry, please continue.
So I'm in two minds about it, because as a person who hasn't played anything to do with Square Enix, really, it looks like these guys made their first shot, and while the writing did seem bad, and the
Yeah.
direction seemed to be bad in it, and there were some technical stuff as well, like James showed the thing with the petting the sheep, or feeding the sheep, cuts
Yeah.
the black, you have fed sheep. That's kind of weird. It was still a good looking game, and it still had like the basic structure of like a good open world.
Traversal looked very good.
Exactly. So there was something there. Surely this was something that, everyone, let's take it back. Let's think about what we did wrong and improve on those areas, build upon it, maybe make something better for the next time.
That game with a good story and good dialogue is a good game.
But they're like, no, shut it down, done. And I'm like, whoa, this seems a little bit much, don't you think?
Can I stop you there
Go
and
on.
give you an example of why I don't think it is too much?
Okay.
Sony Bend made an incredible game,
Yeah.
and we're just told to fucking suck it up and do something else.
Yeah, it wasn't
No,
the
they weren't shut
perfection.
down,
That's true.
But they made a very, very good game
yeah.
that was done right. Everything about it's good. And they were basically told, tough, you're doing something else now. So these guys made it ultimately a shit game. So that, you know, devil's advocate. Devil's advocate.
I guess it's all down to the publishers end of the day, what they deem to be good enough and whatnot. Jas did write in though. Jas he's a big fan of like Square Enix games.
Yeah, he's
and
a Final
stuff
Fantasy
like that.
simp, I believe.
And he wrote to me. He wrote saying, "Let me find his tweet right here. It's just behind this one somewhere. Here we go." So he said, "Absolutely fair that it is that they got shut down.
Okay.
After the horrible release of Final Fantasy 15, then another horrible release with Forspoken, it's clear that the Luminous engine isn't worth keeping up, and the talented dev staff can go work on games that aren't limited by its engine with its main within its main company." Now, that's specifically talking to the engine specifically, and I'm guessing is it owned by Luminous Productions then, if they're the ones working on that?
I'm not sure how it works.
But I mean,
what I will say is this:
I feel like they could have just switched engines for the next thing that they were going to work on or something like that.
not if it's part of your like USP thing, you know, like this is what we make stuff on the engine we built to make it the best thing ever. But
It's a bit like how 343 Industries is named after Halo, and they can't make a good Halo.
right.
It's like, so what else can they make? You got to shut the shit down, start again.
One thing I will say though, you know, we don't exactly know the situation of these devs. So Jas is saying, well, they can go on and do other things, but maybe there's a reason that they didn't leave on their own, right? Like, and I don't just mean like job security, right, and safety, but maybe they actually really like working with the engine. Maybe maybe from a development point of view, they love the engine, and they really were passionate about the projects they were working on and the work ethic and the values of the company. Which is a thing that does happen. If you find good companies, people tend to stick there. Good companies to work for, not necessarily good products made. And also, we assume that they bought the company and are sticking around. They're being put in other places, but we don't know that that's the case. That isn't how it always goes.
Yeah.
So if they bought the company and these guys are losing their jobs, that's not ideal. I don't think devs making a crap game means that they deserve to be fired, unless of course they're 343. You've had 3 chances. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Stay away from Halo. Stay away from my goddamn Master Chief. How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you?
That's different. But but I hope Jas is right. I hope what actually happened is they bought the company and went, you guys pulled a Microsoft, you can't manage anything. We're managing you instead. You're all going to these other projects because again, there's a lot of good talent in these companies. It's just not being used right, you know.
And nowadays, where money is so crucial, in these times, I guess you need to go for things that you know are going to win.
Yeah, that's sort of my theory on it.
Speaking of Microsoft, we'll move on to our next topic. This topic really stirred up the gaming community. It's, I believe it was from, let me just find out exactly where it came from originally. Okay, it's been referred by, VGC Chief of Staff. VGC Chronicle, sorry. Video Games Chronicle, it came from originally. So the title of this is, a number of industry experts reportedly believe that Microsoft could sell the Xbox games division if the Activision merger is blocked by regulators. Now, the person who wrote this also added a little thing, goes, this doesn't seem likely for a number of reasons. However, it's possible that these people have data that we don't, which is obviously true.
That's definitely true.
Now, this is a big thing. We're going to have to talk about this in some fucking detail right here.
I'm for it.
Xbox may be selling their gaming division if the Activision merger falls through. What's your initial thoughts on that?
As long as Rare then make Banjo-Kazooie, I'm happy. No, for real, the reason it depends how it gets sold. If it gets sold as one lump, i.e. like Amazon, oh my god, imagine Amazon goes and buys it.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe do you know what? Amazon has not got a management problem.
That's true.
It does have a treating its low-paid workers like shit problem.
It does.
But forgetting that, and these aren't low-paid workers, that it might be a good thing. But if it sort of gets split and meteors out into like everybody splits off and goes and does their own thing, we'll probably be in for some more good games. I actually don't think that's the best scenario.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now, as I said it, I do think the best scenario is someone like Amazon buys it and goes, because Amazon. When I say Amazon, I mean like sort of the Jeff Bezos business, meaning so like the Azure servers, for example. Is it Azure? No, AWS.
Yeah.
So Azure's Microsoft. The only other service that is bigger than Azure or better potentially is AWS. That's the Amazon service system. They're not made for gaming. They're made for different stuff. They do business mostly. But if Amazon picks them up and makes the decisions that they've been making with, now not always, obviously that some of the Amazon shows have had problems and things like that, but they've also made some incredible stuff, and they go, well, it's just another entertainment wing, right? Well, what winners do we have? Well, Amazon is, they've made some of their own stuff, but what they really did is found good existing things and turned them into shows. So like Lord of the Rings. And they're like, oh, the show wasn't good. Lord of the Rings isn't good. What did you expect? But if they look at it and go, well, look, this company that we just acquired owns all of these IPs. The stuff they've been putting out sucks. Let's go back to the fan favourites. Let's do the Banjo-Kazooies. Let's reboot this series. Let's pull out that, right? Because they have the guts to look at Sony and go, oh, we've got the recipe.
Yeah.
Well, let's just copy their homework.
Yeah.
And we're trying not to make it too obvious. You know, and we could, and then ideally, the reason I don't want Xbox gaming division to split up is that then we lose Xbox and then Sony gets lazy and it's the worst case scenario all over again.
Yeah.
If Amazon owns Xbox still has that same problem of having unlimited money and potentially safe jobs, but they have more cutthroat managers.
Yeah. Less laid back shit.
Yeah, so fingers crossed they go, make this, make that, you know.
So, taking a step back,
Yeah.
how likely do you think this is? Because you're sounding like this is like a... you haven't even said so far yet. Like this doesn't seem really...
I think zero chance.
Yeah? Yeah.
One, I think Microsoft just to up themselves on that whole thing, and it would look like a loss, and they just don't seem to want to be willing to... They ship money, right? They can't move for money, so they can just absorb the loss and not look like they made any mistakes. And it feels to me like because they never change tack, at least when it comes to Xbox, that's the way they're going. So I think it's highly unlikely.
What do you think about this idea? Before I go into my thoughts on
absolutely.
What do you think about this idea? Because I mean, while the industry experts are saying it, and whatnot, do you see any logic to it or anything like that?
No, not really. And also, industry experts can't be trusted for shit.
The amount of shit they get wrong, right?
The other thing is, I think it's easier and more profitable, although again, also zero chance this happening, to go, we know how to do this. We used to make incredible games and incredible consoles and innovate. And we used to tell good stories. And we used to have well-loved IPs. Well, let's go back to those. Let's make good stories, and if we have forgotten, we have the homework to copy. We can innovate on the next console. Like, let's put some money into this and get rid of Game Pass. Gone. Phil Spencer gone. We're gutting the management and top brass of this thing, and we're going back to what works. We're going to tell good stories. We're going to make good family fun games like the Banjo-Kazooie things. And we're going to tell some good stories. And we're not going to make a Halo or a Gears of War for a while. I think they probably end up going back to that.
Right.
But, like, we're going to have to do some brand new stories. Go and make some new ideas. We're going to make some new games. While those are being developed, we'll make some reboots. Or some, you know... I think that's a much better idea. Much more profitable in the long term. Probably more profitable in the short term. Yeah. And also... a chance of zero that's happening. I think Xbox continues this way until next gen, at which point they die.
It's a sad time if that happens.
Yeah, it's going to suck because, again, you know, to be really clear, I think you're on the same page with me. We want a strong Xbox, and I want it to be a Microsoft product as well because, I don't know, that's the way it's always been.
When I read this, something clicked in my mind. You're going to have to go on a journey with me here, right?
Take me there, bro.
Come follow me on this journey.
I'm not paying whatever it was for the first class stamp, friend, but I'll take a second class seat. Yeah,
Come follow me on a journey.
the legroom needs improvement, but yeah, take me there.
they're really, 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 really trying to get this Activision Blizzard King deal to go through. Now, on the face of it, when we first saw it, we were like, yeah, the reason why they're going for it is because they want like Call of Duty so bad and Diablo so bad and all those really big IPs over there.
Yeah.
So they can hold it over PlayStation, so they can do that. And then they told all of these things about how like PlayStation is the biggest and Xbox is actually the loser and they're crap and they don't do anything good and nothing about Xbox is good and all these things they told regulators that they won't tell us, even though we say this sort of thing all the time.
Yeah.
They said all these things. Now, something clicked in my mind. What if they're not buying Activision for Call of Duty, for all of those things, but really so they can buy a bunch of competent development studios that have a proven track record of producing good games? Because currently that's Microsoft's problem. They have a bunch of dev studios that you get one or two good games, but the rest of them are all very mediocre. They seem to miss the ones that should hit, Halo, the big games. And then you got things like inconsequential stuff like, no offense to anyone, that Hi-Fi Rush game that got shadow dropped at that event. Apparently it's great. Inconsequential, however.
Yeah, in terms of market mover, it didn't make any waves.
Any waves. Forza, people talked about it being a good racing game.
Boom game.
Again, no one talks about it. No one's like, oh, Xbox, that racing game. Yeah. No one like.
True for GT7 as well. Like
exactly,
both unmistakable masterpieces of like graphics, sound engineering, all that stuff. But who cares?
Who cares? But other than that, just seem to be failures.
Yeah.
And their developers, so their studios seem to not be able to produce it. So maybe if we go in with the idea that the reason why they're buying the Activision merger is because they want competent studios, so they go, okay, these guys have made banger after banger. Every year they make a Call of Duty that goes an 8 out of 10 or higher, and it makes millions and millions of dollars. They make a Diablo, they make this, they make that. These are all fantastic games that constantly are making money and are producing good games. Yep. And if we have some of our IPs and we combine it with them, maybe they can make other good games for us. If we go under that assumption, then maybe this might be true in some ways, because then it would be, you'd have that mindset of the people in the business meetings going, well, if the Activision deal doesn't go through, then we're just stuck with these crappy development studios that we can't seem to manage. We can't get anything done, can't get anything produced out of them. Yeah. So maybe we do pack up shop and go, because they nearly did pack up shop at the beginning of the Xbox One era. Yeah. After Don Matrick really screwed everything up with his words and really got everyone up in arms. So they nearly did pack up before Phil Spencer came in. So maybe they're at this point, they're like, look, Phil, we gave you 6 years of Game Pass, this idea that you came up with. You've effectively nuked our ability to sell any games.
This was a terrible idea, and this should have easily been foreseen, and we foresaw it the second it came out. But
you've given people no reason to buy our console, because it's available. All these games are going to be available everywhere. Now, you've made this promise. We look bad if we go back on it.
You gutted our business model for no reason.
And nothing has been produced of it. And if their idea was, well, let's buy this studio since we have this massive amount of wealth, and that will bolster it in, and then that will cause that. And if that idea gets thrown off the table, maybe they don't have anything left on the table. Yeah. And then maybe the idea is that they give up. Now, I want to say, this is a bit like the sell the Justice League to Netflix thing. I think there are a lot of good points. I think there are things that could work out. I think like what I've just laid out makes sense logically. Yeah. However, I still think it's a 0% chance. Yeah. Or like next to zero. Like with sell the Snyderverse of Justice League, it makes so much sense. And if the right person was to think about it, it could happen. Yeah. But those right people are never in the right place, and there's so many people going against it that it would never work out. And the same thing I think is happening here. Yeah. I think there are good points.
I think you're right.
However, there is just no way that would ever happen.
I'll tell you where I think we immediately know that that's correct is if Phil Spencer gets canned. That'll be like the first show. The deal doesn't go through. The first thing they do is fire Phil Spencer. One thing I will say, sorry, I just have to cough. Excuse me, boys and girl. There's one presumption in there that I just doesn't sound right to me.
Go ahead, hit me.
Which is that, yes, the studios are crappy, but I think basically what I mean is I think you your idea is right, but it got away from a core tenet, which is that the reason those studios are crappy is the shitty management. It's that idea, that view of what's going on suggests that, and I'm not saying this isn't right, but I don't think it's correct, that there's no talent at these dev companies. And I think frickin' what was that game we hired BioWare or whoever it was Sony hired BioWare to make? I frickin' forgot. But they made a good game for once. Was it BioWare? No, Bethesda. What's Bethesda? The frickin' the roguelike thing, Deathloop.
Deathloop, yes.
I think Deathloop is a perfect example. It proves that the talent's there.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So Bethesda can make good games. And they used to make good games. The talent in these companies is still there. I think that's a good example of it. The decisions suck. And people are okaying things and jobs are too safe and that's that. And I think, again, they proved it live for us recently that the companies suck, but the talent's there. You know, it just needs to be unlocked and managed properly. You could be right, though. I mean, look, what are the chances that since Rare made Banjo-Kazooie to now, when after their acquisition, that all the good people have it'd be very interesting to see what Cyberpunk's next game looks like. And not Cyberpunk, sorry, CDPR's next game looks like. Because all of the OGs that made The Witcher, which is the reason that they got so big, they all have left. From story to dev, they're all gone. Yeah. Almost all. There's like 10% of the OGs left, something like that. So it'd be very interesting to see if they develop anything. And I think that's sort of what's going on here.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to put a definitive point on what it is actually that is causing the problem because, like you said, I mean, it does seem like it's a management problem, and that's why. You know what really annoys me is that
what grinds your gears, bro?
There are people out there that don't understand why there are people against the Activision Blizzard merger deal.
Oh yeah.
Like they're acting like this is a 100% positive.
Yeah, there's no downside.
There is no downside. Yeah. And it's like, and people are like, you're just trying to protect Sony's dominance over the market. I'm like, Sony may have a dominance over the market, but they got there because they worked. They got there because they produced good games.
Yeah.
And they gave us
dominated by money. They're not bullying. They're making a better product.
They gave us the good games. So if that means them staying in their position produces more good games, I want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't want it to be like, no, take away everything they've got and give it to someone else who has a track record of proving not producing good stuff, and then we'll hope that something good comes out of that. Yeah. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's like there is a downside. Now, it may not go that way. It may all be worrying for nothing. But there is a downside. Don't pretend like there isn't.
Yeah, of course there is.
I don't understand. There's only people who wish that Xbox will do absolutely amazing things with it, hoping for the best, and they're fanboys.
Yeah.
I get the people that are hoping, and I understand they're idiots like fanboys.
I'm hoping.
Exactly.
I'm hoping.
But we're also realists. We also see, okay, this could go quite badly.
Yeah, well, because these companies are going to go into the same freaking management that allowed 3 Halo games to be made. Why disturb
what's so great? Why not try to add to it? And that's why I keep coming back to the idea of why spend $70 billion on buying something when you can go to spend $70 billion on making something brand new. And then you add to the pot.
Not even 70. Like we what did we do? We said 2 billion and we were throwing money around and had like $1 billion left over to do this thing, right? Like also, here's the thing. Sony has acquired brands. That's a thing that they've done. But what they don't do is just buy brands that make good games. They go to these brands and they say, guys, make us a game. That did really well. Make us another game. Hey, that did really well. We work really well together. Let's just get married.
Yeah.
Right? Xbox just like, yo, you make good stuff. We're going to buy you. Right? Like that's... It's less holistic, and it's also one of the reasons I don't think it would work. Right? The reason that the Sony acquisitions worked is these companies make 1 or 2 titles, or at least if it's a new company, it's a team that's worked with Sony before. Yeah. They all have experience, they've all worked together, and they've all made a proven product. And then they get acquired or, repositioned like Firewalk or whatever, right? Yeah. But that's an old team.
Yeah.
That's just, it's not, that's how...
It's supposed to be, isn't it?
This happened, this is a history lesson. Frickin' You know when that wall in Germany went down? The frickin' what's that wall? Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall. So when the Berlin Wall came down, what happened was the West and the East, and this is like of Europe and the world, looked at each other finally properly for real. And in the West, or in the East, wherever we are,
We're the West.
we're the West.
Oh wait, of Germany.
Now we're in the Western world. Everything was really good because there was competition and people just started making, like, our cars were better. Like America was making Corvettes and Italy was making Ferraris and stuff, right? And then you check out what's happening in East Germany and like Russia and stuff, and these cars look like they're from the 1950s, haven't got any better, don't run, don't work, aren't reliable. Why? Because you weren't allowed to improve. The money wasn't there, or you weren't allowed to go above certain things because that would make things unfair or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the Sony model is competition, the best win.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest, effectively. Now, obviously, that can get to be too extreme.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you don't allow innovation, and that's exactly what's happening on the Xbox side of things. And we saw it with the consoles. The last 3 consoles have been the same console, just with new tech.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Same console with this year's parts.
Yeah.
Right? Versus the PS5, which is effectively from the ground up all new. And I mean that from like the processing architecture, the memory's new, the haptic feedback,
Even
in
the
the
cooling with the liquid metal. That's the that and the
Terminator 2 stuck in there.
That and the SSD that's built in there are two things I was like, wow, they actually went like ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the SSD PCs quickly caught up with it, and they are now available, those same SSDs over there.
And
that's how all technology is.
We also said they're going to go to that SSD.
Exactly.
So,
but the liquid metal thing, I was like, oh, that's quite
that is very interesting.
fancy right there.
It's very
isn't
fancy.
it? Fancy.
But I mean, it's not just that. The 3D audio.
Yeah.
They went about. They didn't have to. No one had to do that. You didn't have to do that, right? Haptic feedback in the the DS5, like this is going above and beyond, allowing the 3D audio to map your ear. No one said you had to do that. Now, in fairness, there are things they should be doing, like give me my freaking custom plates and custom, DualSense. But
they did announce a LeBron James themed PlayStation 5.
Sick.
It looks okay, but I'm not a graffiti kind of fan, so I was like, oh, okay.
Or a basketball fan.
That either as well, yeah. Either way.
So, like, my point is that Xbox just got stuck in a way of doing things, right? And they just made the next one, whereas the PS5 is not the next one. I think you could reasonably argue that PS1 to PS2, just the next one, fine, fair enough. PS3, kind of a step back because of the stupid architecture, but they were trying something.
They tried something new,
and the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray, so still a step up.
True.
PS4, getting back on the right track, but still effectively just the next one.
Yeah.
PS5, we're really trying to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, look, you don't always have to push the boundaries, but at least they're trying. And actually, tell a lie, they tried it with the 6-axis before.
Yeah.
They are trying.
Yeah.
And also, at least the 6-axis you could turn off.
And the DualSense Edge controller, DualSense controller is so much more of a leap forward as well.
Right, exactly. So there are attempts to do it. The Xbox, other than like form factor, it's relatively hard to tell apart from the original Xbox. Controller's identical, barring size and materials. It's just like it's the next one, but what it is that's evolution, right? One generation after another. The PS5 is evolution from the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's a whole new thing.
Yeah. It really is. So, yeah, I just think it's management. I really genuinely believe it. And I think it's proof is in the pudding with Bethesda making Deathloop. You get the right management team. The talent's there. I don't doubt the devs. For example, frickin' what's the stupid space thing that's going to suck? No Man's... Starfield's going to suck.
I don't want to say it so much because I feel like there's always the chance that it will be good, and that would be so great.
I love me some sci-fi.
It's going to suck. It's got this nagging feeling.
It's going to suck.
Even though it was predominantly probably being done before Xbox acquired them, I feel like there's just enough towards the end that they came in and enough just to put a curse on it.
And enough of a delay from the original date for us to give it over to Xbox now and suck up the blame. But like, I don't doubt that the devs are talented. I don't doubt that at all. I think decisions were made from the ground up before Xbox was even involved that are bad, and then were just continued. What engine to build it on? Like immediately from the ground up, you're doing it wrong, you know. And that's why it looks like Fallout 3.
Speaking of Starfield and other games that are owned by Bethesda and whatnot, did you happen to see, maybe it was just me or whatever because my ads are directed this way, but while the arguments were happening with the EU and FTC and stuff like that,
I did see there are single MILFs near me.
You did see those ones. Okay, I didn't
get
get those ones, but that's probably targeted to you. Xbox put out a bunch of ads, like promoted tweets and stuff like that, so they can drive this interview to people's faces. And it's an interview with a woman. I don't know who this person is. I think she might work for like one of the media outlets, something like that. And they're discussing what their intentions are for Activision Blizzard when they get.
What are your intentions with my daughter?
Essentially what it is. And it's the thing is that because there's no reply to this. There's no like. It's not like I'm putting it out there asking a question and you guys give me the response. It's propaganda. It's putting it out there. So this is our thing and you have to take our word for it because that's all we're saying. We're not going to take any questions.
Game Pass is good for gamers and for devs.
Literally,
the devs come out. It's not good for us.
She asked a question in a roundabout way. It's like, what about these people that are like worried that you're going to take away games from like
does
PlayStation?
It sound like that?
It does sound like that.
Yeah, okay.
And Phil Spencer's like, there's no example like in Bethesda of us pulling away games from the PlayStation community. And it's funny because like Redfall and Starfield are two games that are coming out exclusively for Xbox. And everyone's argument is, well, those were never technically announced for PlayStation.
Right.
And then you've got interviews with Pete Hines, who works at Bethesda, who's saying like, yeah, our plan was to bring it to PlayStation, but then when we were bought by Xbox, they told us to can it. And I'm like, right. So those are examples of it being pulled away.
Exactly that.
But because there's no back and forth, it's just Phil Spencer going, we never did anything. Goes to why I don't like Phil.
And the key, I actually don't have any problems with that.
No.
You bought a company and you want the game to go to your console? That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. But just don't pretend like you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Don't pretend like you're not doing it.
Just don't lie and what was it? Don't piss in a jar and call it Grandma's peach tea or whatever that she says.
Granny's peach tea.
Yeah, like we said this, didn't we? We were like, there's no way that this third party company was only ever bringing it to Xbox. This is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. This is the thing. It never passes a sniff test, and you and me aren't known for being smart.
Yeah.
And this is the thing as well, like it bugs me because we're not geniuses, we're not business moguls, we're not like frickin' Elon Musk's and Jeff Bezos's.
No.
And it's not passing the sniff test, and it's not because we're smart. It's because we're just paying attention.
Yes.
And we have a model of the world that works.
Yeah.
Right? You look at it and go, okay, it's a third party console or a developer. And unless there's a barrier to entry, you want your game everywhere, right? So it's likely that it was supposed to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Why would you think anything else?
There has to be if ever there was a reason why it didn't come to another console, there'd have to be some sort of financial reason to it. And
this happens with the frickin' indie devs. It used to be really expensive to come onto PlayStation and really cheap to get onto Xbox. So why are all the indie games on Game Pass? For that reason. Fair enough.
And it has happened with another game as well recently.
Oh no, what?
Industry fanboy Jez Gordon, when PlayStation announced, did their, what was they did that State of Play. They did a State of Play recently, and they showed off a game, and it said it wasn't coming to Xbox. Mm-hmm. And he was like, seems like there's another exclusivity deal with PlayStation in this game, a bit like Final Fantasy. Right. Xbox players should not expect to play this game anytime soon, just like Final Fantasy. And it turned out that the developers came out and they said, no, there's no exclusivity deal.
Yeah.
There's just not enough of an install base to warrant us making a port for the Xbox consoles.
Right.
And it's like, you see, the completely uninvolved PlayStation is, and people are choosing not to. It's because the system is dying. Anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to bring that up as a point right there.
Also, to be clear, because I worry that people think we only like PlayStation because they're like quote unquote the big boys in terms of number of consoles out there. We had PSPs.
Yeah.
So get fucked. Like, no one had PSPs. I think I had 2. Like, yeah, it's not how it works. I'm happy to be the guy on the small, in terms of numbers out there console. That's not the problem. I had a GameCube. No one bought the fucking GameCube. No one bought the GameCube.
It was a pretty niche thing, yeah.
Like,
it showed how much of a gamer you were.
right. Like, that isn't our issue.
Yeah.
And also, and here's the thing, this isn't Sony going out there going, oh, look at what they're doing. This is people going out there and saying it, and then like, oh, no, actually, no. You brought it up, so we'll answer it. No, there aren't enough Xboxes out there. There aren't enough. First of all, there aren't enough Xboxes out there. Second of all, most people on the Xbox aren't buying it. So why would we do it? Fair enough then.
I will say one good thing about Xbox that got me kind of excited, because I'm a big Hideo Kojima fanboy.
True.
The Xbox team did go to Hideo Kojima's studios, and they posted a couple of videos of them going into like their trophy cabinets and stuff like that. And the big, there's that astronaut. Super sci-fi astronaut thing. Where they went into. Apparently, that thing just sits in an individual room, completely lit up by white panels, and it's just a massive waste of space. But it's just the statue holding.
That sounds a very Kojima thing to do, doesn't it?
Fucking flex as well. Like, imagine going into the studio and it's like, okay, before we go into the studio, we have to go into the astronaut room.
Through the astronaut room, yeah.
And it's complete. It's like a sci-fi movie where like everything outside is dark and blinding white light when you go in there, and in the middle is just the astronaut.
That's very Kojima.
And I'm like, fucking Kojima, just so fucking great.
That's very Kojima. That is very Kojima.
And I saw some pictures of that, and I was like, this is pretty fucking cool.
That's very
Kojima. I hope the project they're working on is really good. I hope it is.
Yeah, well, as long as Xbox just sort of say yes to a couple of ideas and then let him get on with it.
This is what they literally have to do. How many zeros? 8. Okay. Cool. There you go.
Thanks.
We'll see you in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do.
Leave him to do it. And
do anything else and you're doing it wrong.
I'm not a particularly big Kojima fan. I mean, he's like a name, like you can't think no gaming and not no Kojima.
Yeah.
But like, just let him do his thing. But that's what they should have done with all these other companies. Let them make a couple games for you, make them good.
Yeah.
Refine them so the next one's better. Then you acquire the studio just like Sony does, or don't. Like Sony didn't acquire Square Enix.
Yeah.
And it was like they've been working together for 30 years or something, or as a different.
I think they.
Are they still? They're Square
Enix.
I can't remember what happened with Square Enix. It was ages ago.
No.
Never mind.
Oh, they did split up a bunch of things. They sold all of their quote unquote Western IPs.
Yeah. That's the one.
Anywho, that's all that stuff right there.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's wrap up a few more topics that we have here. So 2 bits of good news about Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
They sold 12 million copies of the game in the first 2 weeks of it.
It was monstrously successful.
Monumental success. Yeah. Way more popular than that Elden Ring. Elden Ring.
And that's across every potential place to play it, correct?
Exactly.
Just remind me, out of curiosity, how many copies did God of War sell on one console?
I believe it was also 12 million consoles.
Anyway, inconsequential. It wasn't Game of the Year, so
who cares? And
I'll tell you as well, just on that, because I am salty about the Elden Ring thing. Like the idea that God of War can win literally every award, but not be Game of the Year. I actually think you should have done it the other way around. Give some other guys the other awards, and then give we all know it was Game of the Year. Yeah. But if any game was going to actually beat it, I think it would have been. And I appreciate the time. Can't time travel, but Harry Potter, fair enough, right? Very different style of game, less intense. Like I will be playing Harry Potter a lot longer than I'll be playing God of War, right?
Yeah, true.
Because I won't be running around, ran around Vanaheim a fair bit, but like I'm.
But there is a limit,
right? Yeah. But I'm flying around Hogwarts and all that all the time just to freaking be there, Yeah. That I could have accepted. I'd be like, do you know what? I get it, but I just who really believes? Apart from you propagandists. Is that right? Is that a word?
That's definitely a word.
Definitely a word. You Elden Ring supremacists, get out of here.
Get out of here. And because of that, I guess, and because they accurately gauged how popular it was going to be, apparently a Hogwarts Legacy TV show is also in production.
No, that I'm not happy about.
See, the thing is, only reason why I'm happy is because it's guaranteed it's not going to have Harry Potter in it. you remove the shitty part of Harry Potter, and then you might have a good, like we've proven with the game. You remove Harry Potter, you have a good game. We might get a good TV show unless they just find another annoying kid to stick in.
Let's do Harry Potter talk because we spoke.
But I
about
love it
last
that HBO Max is doing it. Like they were like, they did great Last of Us.
Harry
Well, let's
Potter.
go.
Yeah, well, Harry Potter. Turns out people love it. Well, you didn't know that before. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? You're an idiot. Let's do Harry Potter talk because I was only like, I hadn't even started it yet. I think the last time. First of all, get fricked. I don't know if it's because I picked Slytherin.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I chose Slytherin to see like does it affect things and stuff. And I think it does because I think I've got different quests to you, at least starting out. Maybe not massively different, but you'd said a few things. Like to me, you said, look, you won't have the broom or the wand or something like that by the time we play again or we meet again. To me, it seemed like very obvious that I couldn't do much without getting done. There was nothing else to do. I'd run around Hogwarts, but and I'd run around Hogwarts. Trust.
I really thought that you'd just get lost in everything and just like
trust.
Okay.
I ran around Hogwarts because I was like, I presume there's tons to do. There was like nothing to do for me except those first few quests, and I had to go and get my supplies and my wand.
I would have bet money on the fact that you would have. And maybe there is a difference then. Maybe there is difference.
Yeah, and I don't know how
I
much
wouldn't
it
have
is.
thought so, but
and so again, I wonder if there are different like house quests and stuff. I don't know.
What it is because you're Slytherin, no one wants to fucking talk to you.
That's probably it.
But that's it. No.
I will say one of the things I've really appreciated about the game is that it's no longer the Harry Potter books are sort of set in a period where if you're Slytherin, that makes you a bad guy pretty much. And this, it's like, no, there are 4 houses.
Yeah.
Of course. Some people you're going to have Slytherins, and you're going to have, and they're all types of people. It's just, first of all, mostly it's just a house.
Yeah.
And some families are Slytherins, so you want to be like the Weasleys are all Gryffindors. Of course, you want to have Ravenclaws, and no one wants to be a Hufflepuff and Slytherins. Like I bumped into this one girl on a pier who was like, "Oh, I'm so and so, whatever. My family's the most famous Slytherins. We're famous explorers." And it's like,
she seems perfectly nice.
Yeah. Like that doesn't sound very Slytherin-y.
It's like you need to up your Slytherin game. You're not really Slytherin.
Right. And one of the biggest douches in the game is a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
He's a freaking douche, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's right. They're all people." Of course, you can have douches in Gryffindor and douches or they're all Hufflepuffs are douches,
All of Hufflepuff.
And this one very bullyable girl who's a Hufflepuff who lost her smelly stones, things.
Yeah.
Like, her. So yeah, I am appreciating the fact that you're just wizards, isn't it? And the house is more of an internal competition than it is anything else.
Well, here's a possible downside to this. Even though it's monstrously successul, they have no plans to do any sort of expansions or DLC or anything.
I heard that, but then they're going to make it a serious game.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll go. Almost guarantees a sequel. Almost guarantees a sequel.
For sure.
They've made the great foundation. They can always build upon that as well.
That's probably why they won't do the DLC.
Perhaps. I mean, it's also possible that the uproar prior to the release with the J.K. Rowling stuff maybe put them on edge, and they were like, let's not plan anything in case this all goes tits
Let's
up.
hold off. Yeah.
Turns out it didn't matter.
And it also shown them that despite J.K. Rowling, people will just love the world that she created.
People, while there were a lot of people that were upset, some people are upset and they couldn't remove their emotions from it. Some people just genuinely stupid. Right. A lot of people appreciated for what it was, the hard work that the devs put in, and the publishers and all that stuff.
Some people just like it when the trains run on time.
Exactly. And motorways. They're great things.
Reliable cars.
Exactly.
They're great. Nice hot showers. Anyway, besides the point.
Our next topic?
Yeah.
Our next topic.
I think I had a point about it, but no, it's gone. It can't.
It's gone.
It's a good game. It's been a lot of fun.
Expelliarmus.
Bruv, let me ask you a question. Just quickly talking spells, because I'm like level 20 and only have 4 spells or something.
Okay.
I just got to the rumor requirement.
Oh my god.
I told you I've been looking around.
This is why I thought you'd never see a wand.
Fair enough. And this is the thing is I was like, if it looked to me like there really wasn't anything to do until you did those few quests. So I get maybe it's a slow down thing. I don't know. But yeah, I'm like deep into the game. And I know like 3 spells. And as far as I can tell, you only want or need Levioso, Accio, and the flame thing, Incendio.
There's so many. There's so many that
Yeah.
you need. There's a reason why when you eventually get to one place, which I can't tell you yet because it's a spoiler, you get the ability to upgrade different slots. So you know how you have your 4 slots for your spells. You have an option to
Unlock more.
another 4 slots
Yeah.
and another 4
Yeah,
slots
yeah.
and another, and you will use them all because
Okay.
they'll all have different things.
Because
You're
I was like, I
fuck,
don't.
I need this. I need
I was like,
that.
I don't need. By the way, it took me embarrassingly long to figure out how to open those chests with the eyes.
Oh,
I was like, I don't get it. Is
I
it?
don't get it.
Do you learn Alohomora, the unlocking spell?
I haven't learned that yet.
But do we think it's in the game? Because I keep running past. I am Revelioing all the time, and I'm like, there's stuff behind this.
There's
thing.
a fucking
I'm
chest
level
behind this
20.
door.
I'm closing in on Dumbledore's power levels. I'm gonna get my guy to kick this door down in a minute.
You're
You
like,
know?
I'm a great wizard. I command you to open.
How dare you? I do want to say,
Dumbledore level. I'm getting close to Dumbledore, damn it.
like, you know what I'm saying? I can't blow a door down. I am sick of how posh these people are, though.
It's all very British.
No one here is like a street rat.
It's all very high class British. It's all very. Oh,
Oh, lovely, a spot of tea.
Are you going to
Oh,
potions
Professor
class?
Garlic.
Professor Garlic.
I'm waiting for the Rule 34.
Professor Garlic.
She seems very nice.
My goodness, my goodness.
Are you using those plants? You know, you can do the cabbage and the...
I only use them because
Tentaculars.
sometimes, you know, in the corner it gives you additional objectives to get bonus like XP.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, cool, throw that out there and I'll do
Yeah.
that. Other than that, I'm just like, nah, fam, you're getting flamed up. You're getting flamed up, cuz. That's what you're doing.
Good, because I also don't care for them.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're
Protego.
good. I'm sure they're good. I'm sure, like, oh, there's a troll, just chuck a bunch of cabbages at it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm there to cast magic. I don't want my cabbage doing all my work for
This
me.
sounds so nerdy when you say that. Just chuck a bunch of cabbages at it.
Frickin' Neville Longbottom in your herbology. Although Professor Garlic, I'm just saying I'd be paying. It's a lie. I wouldn't be paying attention in class. I'd be paying attention in class.
I'll be at attention for sure. Our next topic.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West is coming, has come already, to PlayStation Plus Extra.
Oh yeah.
So, if you are at PlayStation Plus Essential, which is the bottom tier, if you do upgrade to the middle tier, which is Extra, where you get PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 titles, a select catalog, you can get Horizon Forbidden West 1 year after the game came out on PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's good signs for Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. We don't know because we haven't had a first party IP come yet. This is the first one. So we don't know what the time scale would be.
Also, it's unfortunate. Horizon, for some reason, just doesn't do... It's a very good game and just didn't do as well as it realistically
it
should
sold
have.
well. It's just the public perception of it was like, oh, it flopped.
Yeah.
I don't understand though because it was in all the MPDs and stuff. But I know why it's
even
come
I
out.
thought it didn't do well. But,
Exactly.
and that's Zero Dawn that I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Zero Dawn flopped because it was next to
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
And then this came out around Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah.
It's unfortunate. Now, I know why they've done it. It's because the DLC's coming out in like a few weeks. So the reason why they're putting it out there, people get people hooked, and then they get to buy the DLC.
Yep.
And you can buy that on top of having it in your library and whatnot.
Yep.
And it's coming out in, I think it's this month or maybe the month after. So that's over 2 months
soon, yeah.
of subscription and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a very smart business play, but it is out. And I guess the next thing is to wonder when God of War Ragnarok will come up on the service. I wonder.
Now that I think about it, because there's no DLC planned for God of War, probably longer.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Yeah.
That is a very smart move, actually, putting it on just a few months before they get... Because it is a good game. It's a very good game.
I think God of War as well might last a little bit longer because that is a system seller.
I think 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah,
realistically.
and now that the supply has gone up for PlayStation 5s, it's going to be one of those ones where it's like, yeah, it comes with God of War.
Of course it does, yeah.
God of War, yeah.
Of course it does, yeah.
And they're going to want to keep that going for a little bit longer.
I totally agree.
But to be fair, I don't think PlayStation Plus is very known to a lot of people. No. I think we know about it because we get hardcore gamers.
Sony cannot market anything, even PlayStation Plus. In fairness, they're doing a bit more for PlayStation Plus than they are for what they did with PS Now.
Yeah.
However, the only place they market it is on the PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
do you know what I've seen more ads for? I've seen more ads on PlayStation even for the PlayStation VR2 headset.
Yeah.
I love it because when I open up now, whenever anyone opens up PlayStation, it's an ad for PSVR2 on there.
I don't understand, as like, you know, Sony ponies as we are. They do so much right, and their marketing, what little of it they do, is so good. Except when it comes to these things that are supposed to be like money making, you know, like subscription service runs in the background sort of thing.
Yeah.
They just never bother with it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They're weird. They're properly weird. As you know, my suit self, I don't understand it.
Even
Market
you don't
these
get
things.
It.
Hoover up all the money of these plebs that buy your product.
And that's all the topics that we have for today.
Gaming.
We have some questions that we're going to kick it over to.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm just going to go over to Patreon. Wait, I'm going to use the link in our Discord server. That's a fast way of getting there. Yeah, I'm going to read from our Patreon, where you guys can write in if you become a patron, have your comment read out first before everybody else. And it's going to kick over to our brand new patron that joined us.
Gaming.
Jimheim. I think that's how you say it, Jimheim. He goes, all right, lads, have been watching your podcast for just over a year now, and I have to say the quality does not disappoint.
My man.
Is he watching our podcast?
Obviously not.
He must have confused it.
Yeah, he's
clearly he's messed it up.
I don't know what other similar Patreon he's like, you know, misspelled. But
Yeah. Just don't
I
say
mean,
it.
yeah,
Just let him have
yeah.
it.
Just keep paying.
Thank you. We are great. We are fantastic.
Yeah. So you obviously know who you're talking to.
Exactly. The only gamer podcast that is true. Winkies.
There's a little bit of me that's really worried he is listening to a different podcast. He's like, why am I not getting a shout out? Everybody else on the $5 tier has a shout out. And I'm just, what tier is he on?
He's on $5 tier.
Yeah. Like, why am I not getting my shout out?
And to the point, at the podcast, and to the point, and also not American. I mean, that's one of our pro points. We've got a couple of points here. We're like, talk about gaming. We're expert gamers, not American. Men, obviously, can't have women. Obviously.
Well, not in gaming.
No, exactly.
Well, they don't sell anything gaming related. No one would
Exactly.
buy a game if the main character's a woman.
Exactly. Who'd buy that?
That's why Forspoken didn't do well.
That's the reason.
It's true. It's true.
Analysts said it.
They analyze everything.
It's the only podcast I have while at work and commuting from place to place. Keep up the amazing work, guys. Thank you so much.
Definitely talking to the wrong people, isn't it? Definitely.
He goes, here's some food for thought. With the new season of The Mandalorian now being out, which has just started, by the way.
Yeah, I heard the first episode's really good.
I heard it's really good, but do you know what's stopping me from watching it? Is because apparently the Book of Boba Fett is crucial to watch between it.
Boba Fett's pretty deep.
I heard it's good as well, but I haven't watched it. That's the only issue.
Book of Boba Fett's really good, with some very weird and not good bits in it.
Yeah.
Like at the this isn't a spoiler, but at the end there's like a biker gang.
Okay.
But they're not a biker gang, they're more like a scooter gang.
Okay.
And think like, you know those Vespers with all the mirrors?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like that. It's weird, there's no reason for them to be there, I don't get it. They don't really do much.
Well, I
Have
hear
you seen
it's
the gif of the
crucial.
one guy that spins around and shoots?
No.
There's a gif or a clip that people always take the piss out of for Boba Fett, and there's the I forgot, oh god, I can't remember the Wookiee's name, the black Wookiee.
I don't know though.
He's a badass, and I forget his name, but he's in it, and there's a scene where he's shooting, and one of these dudes like spins around for no reason and starts shooting. Let me find it for you. Can talk amongst yourselves.
Let me continue reading his comment right here. Here's some food for thought, though. With the new season of The Mandalorian now being out, it would be... I think there's a word missing here. It would be a Mandalorian-themed game. However, you will have a story side to the game, whatever that may be, but on the other side, the game is open world, kind of like Destiny or the original Division. Ooh, where there are PvP areas, but for the most part, it's just looting and interfering with ruffians around the Star Wars planets. That sounds actually really quite cool. However, if you were to take on a bounty, you would have to be forced into the PvP area, which would give you better gear and upgrade rewards. But other players can interfere and collect your bounty and take your loot if you aren't careful. Careful about safekeeping your loot in the X place after acquiring it. That's actually some interesting stuff right there. There was a rumor of a Mandalorian game happening. Granted, it's probably just story
We've had
focused.
so many Star Wars games that are gonna happen that stop happening.
There's a lot going on. Not Crystal Dynamics. Quantic Dream are working on one. They put out like a CG trailer, and apparently it's not even in the stages of where they've hired enough people. And I'm like, that's just bullshit. Why'd you even announce anything? Xbox is, Ubisoft's already working on an open world one. There's a lot of projects coming, and I think Xbox is working on that Mandalorian game. If I remember correctly.
Sent you on Discord.
I'll check it out.
It happens in the first literally 4 or 5 seconds of that video. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Just watch the first 4 seconds of that.
Boba Fett.
I forget the name of this Wookiee, and he's freaking amazing. This Wookiee's a badass.
Oh, why did he do that?
Literally for no reason.
Why did he do that?
Literally for no reason. Because someone's like, it'll look cool, and the guy just did it. It's awful.
Oh, and someone's cutting it so it's different enemies that he's shooting. That's fucking.
I didn't
hilarious.
watch. I just found the spin in it.
Yeah. It's
Anyway, also, what's that? Is it Revan? There's no, it's not a Revan game. They're remaking. There's another
Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good Star Wars stuff.
I like this idea though.
Yeah. I dig it.
He must know that we're like semi-Destiny 2, Division 2 fans and whatnot, and Destiny fans as well. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. And the cutthroat nature of the Mandalorian, like bounty hunters and stuff like that, and the like Tatooine and stuff like that, that could really play into it. I really like that idea.
It would be cool.
That's really good.
It would be cool.
Really good. And the story side of it as well, if they can nail down like a really good story.
And I dig that idea of like you're going somewhere for a bounty, but then you're also at risk, and like that was the Division and the Division 2. They did a lot right. Also, that party system's fantastic. Also, that goes back to, not to like make this about like The Last of Us, but like, and the live service and their factions thing. But like that's the way you do factions. Is you figure out a reason for people to be in an area, and that's why it happens. And that's that. Like it's not just, oh hey, you turn up, you do this thing. This is what the game is. It's like, no, you're going to a place to do a thing. This is the place the thing is done. This is why you're here.
I'm getting overly excited for that Last of Us
multiplayer
game, whatever it is, because I've built it up so much in my head now.
Me too.
I'm probably building myself up a disappointment.
Me too. No, I'm with you.
But I've built myself up into this thing. I'm like, this could be really epic. I hope they pull it off.
The thing is, so far, nothing The Last of Us has missed.
Yeah.
Like, the DLC's all banged. The games have both banged. Factions, although one person played it, was good on The Last of Us 1.
Yeah.
So, like...
Stands to reason, doesn't it?
Right? Like, why wouldn't it be good? Should be good.
Yeah.
God, I want it to be good.
Thank you very much, Jim Hine, for writing in. Thank
you,
you, and welcome to the Patreon and to the community. Because you've never commented before, so this is the welcome into the commenting part of the community. Right. Going to our Discord server.
I'm on Discord.
Tailgate wrote in, and he said, thoughts on... Okay, we actually commented on that first bit, but you're welcome. It's the Xbox could be selling the Xbox division if they go over here. So I'll have to skip that one then.
Did you read Cobra's comment?
No, I didn't. Do you want to read it?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Cobra says... Cobra 67. He's got a... I was like, do you say snake emoji or do you just hiss?
He's a Slytherin, that's why.
Slytherin. Wasn't too bothered about the VR2 until I saw you using it. Now I wish I had one. Looks like another level of immersion. Learn to read, bruv. That much closer to Ready Player One. Still upset you didn't run your hand through the water, though.
So that's a reference to the clip that I put up on... it's on Super Tube 80 Plays, and also it's on Twitter and whatnot. When you start, you're in a kayak, and you're being taken as prisoner by these two people in front of you. And as you're going along, there are like watchers all around the side. The tallnet comes over you, and the water looks gorgeous, as well as everything else does look gorgeous. But the water looks so beautiful. And I look down into it, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like it's like I'm at like a coral reef or something like that. It's so
Right,
beautiful.
right.
And I didn't run my hand through it. I don't know if you can run your hand through it, but I didn't do it. And he's like, why didn't you run your hand through it? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't. I'll start the game again.
Why
sorry.
didn't you hug Leonardo?
I don't know if you can do it, but yeah, I didn't do it. And he was very angry at me because of that.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, I agree. Oh God, here we go. It's time for Alpha Aquila. Forza Horizon 5's second of 2 expansions was announced to be Rally Adventure.
Wow.
Instinctively, I thought this was quite underwhelming.
Oh, good. Well, we agree.
We all agree then. After the past 2 expansions, which were Lego and Hot Wheels, that's true. It does seem like a
Yeah,
step
in
down.
fairness, yeah, fair.
Step down
Fair,
there. But there's a whole new map which will be fun to explore, as it always has been. And I've always had a preference for off-roading. The new DLC means new achievements, and I'm going to complete this again. Looking forward to it, even if it doesn't seem big, even to me. Well, I'm glad you're happy. Okay, I'm not. I don't give a but I'm glad you're happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. At least what I like about Forza's DLC is they're actually trying. It's not just, oh, here's another race map.
I'll give that to over GT7. While
Yeah.
GT7's very, in a way, Japanese. It's clinical. It's very
Yeah,
precise.
yeah, I feel you.
We're clean. We're precise. Perfect.
I mean, Japanese can do crackhead stuff. Like the One Piece is the most popular thing. It's just crackhead.
It's so strange, the degree of range. Just like, cool, we're going to be very precise, clean. Everyone wear gloves. Everyone's an
on this
immaculate room,
side-
minimalist.
Yeah, on this side, it's like engineering the best stuff. The samurai sword, like the best engines ever made.
Craftsmanship.
Yeah, like perfect whiskey, scientists and engineers.
And on this side, the most
Tentacle
cracked
hentai.
out, filthy, disgusting,
Yeah.
degenerate stuff you've ever seen.
Vending machines that sell used knickers.
I don't understand. There's no middle ground. There has to be a guy in Japan who's just like, I just want to work.
I just want a normal day.
I just want to work and go to the shop and buy my groceries and come
Right.
back. Can I just do that?
You know?
And that's what I really like about Forza is that they can go, fuck it, Lego, son.
Yeah, we're doing
Fuck
a Lego
it,
expansion.
Hot Wheels,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's a good thing.
That I do like. Adam,
Go on. Oh, no,
Oh,
I read
sorry.
his one out.
My
I read
bad.
his one. So go to BS, bro.
BS Bro 2 says, I don't really. Why would you start with I don't really have anything to say other than Mass Effect addiction is back? That's a good point. Just pause, take a step back. I actually haven't played through the Legendary.
I would have thought you out of everyone.
It's one of those things where, like, it obviously it's on my list.
Isak's disappointment. I could hear it through the camera.
This is the thing, like, it's obviously on my list, right? But then, around, somewhat similar time, we had other things to play. And, like, in my head, I'm like, I want to do it. But I've unironically played Mass Effect 1 and 2 3 or 4 times each, easily. And like, you know me, I still play it the way I play it. I've been all over the galaxy. I've only played 3 once. So I should probably go back and play 3 because apparently they fixed stuff. But that's what I'll do. I'm going to play that. But thank you for reminding me.
There you go.
It's a good addiction to have. I really wish you would play it. It's so good. It's so good.
It's just
Get to 2. 2 is a masterpiece. 2 is unquestionably one of the best stories and games. It's so good.
I know this is gonna sound bad and people are gonna hate me for this, but how does it look?
2, it looks really
In comparison to 1, was it like a step up, a big step up?
good. The big thing is the UI. 1's UI is clunky and sucks. In fact, skip 1.
I was gonna say that's what really bugged me as well about 1.
Skip 1. 2 is much better. 2 is much
Hope
better.
so. That might bring me back in.
2's much better. And the story's so good. And you got like Liara and Tally, like the best romances. You meet Morden. These names mean things to you, of course they do.
Course,
Garrus
yeah,
is still there. You knew Garrus.
Didn't I kill him?
No, you didn't kill Garrus.
Did I kill Garrus?
You absolutely did not. You better not have.
No. Rex. Rex was who I killed.
I forgot about that. I'm actually genuinely angry at you.
I got him killed. Sorry, hold on a sec. I sided with the space Nazi. What was her name? The space racist?
Oh, I know the one you mean.
I sided with her and she murked him, and I was like,
You sided with oh god, Alicia. No, is it Alicia? No, frick, I can't remember. She's so boring.
She's like, anything that isn't human.
It frustrates me because also there's only 1.5 ways to get to that scenario. Oh, so angry.
Everyone was so angry with me in the chat. They were like, how do you... What?
It's actually quite difficult if you don't know what you're doing to get there. You have to really work at it.
Oh, God.
Ashley.
Oh, yeah, Ashley.
Ashley.
That's it.
The Hi-Fi Rush got... And that Hi-Fi Rush got 2 million players. So he says, I don't have anything to say other than the addiction is back and that Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, it's a separate thing. He's saying Hi-Fi Rush, the game that came out on Xbox, that shadow dropped game.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah.
Got 2 million players, which if you ask me isn't a lot since there's 25 million games. That's a good point. 25 million Game Pass users.
Yeah, it's like
got 2 million.
8%.
And that's not great. That's not great.
It's not amazing.
Regardless of it being a good game. Apparently it's a good game, but...
It sort of goes to show that... the thing about Game Pass is like Steam, and what I mean is that, Steam sales, like people buy a bunch of stuff, and then they go back to playing CS, which is like a 20-year-old game or something, or Valorant, which is just a new version of that exact same game. It's basically the same game. It just goes back to our point. It's just not a good service for the
health of gaming.
Yeah, for the health of the community, exactly. And then Pam, who
I think she just commented on top of that comment.
The thing, I've been looking. Pam is level 41 in our Discord.
Oh yeah,
and I do not recognize.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Pam, I thought was fairly new.
Yeah, but
must be chatting constantly.
Yeah, or in rooms that we're not in. I don't know.
Possibly
Because I saw one. I think she's in the movie room. Someone was talking about District 9.
Oh yeah.
And
look at these prawns, eh? Fucking prawns.
Didn't fuck a prawn.
They do look like prawns, don't they?
Anyway, so she hadn't seen it and said, someone recommended it, and then Alpha tagged me in it because he knows this little tidbit. It was originally meant to be the Halo movie. Did you know this?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, and I think is it Percy Jackson? No, not Percy Jackson.
Crazy.
Who directed District? No, my memory is shot. I've had such a stressful week. Oh, maybe I was wrong though. Neil Blomkamp. It's anyway. It's supposed to be the original Halo movie, and that's why if you go back and watch it, and you just take out the fact that they're prawns, like you can see, like, oh yeah, that feels Halo-y. I know it sounds dumb, but did you ever watch any of the... You're not a Halo fan. You know, they made some like live action teaser movies that are like 30 minutes long.
Okay.
And like some fan movies got made, and they have a very similar feel, just like a lower budget to District 9.
Okay.
Anyway, we were talking about it. It's very good. It was originally meant to be the Halo movie, but that got canned. And the reason I mention that is on that comment, she like leveled up to 41, and I'm like, how do I know it? And then I clicked her thinking like, oh, maybe it's one of the boys who's like, oh, I'm actually,
change his name.
Yeah, change his name to like, yeah. And I'm like, no, I don't recognize it. Maybe it is one of the OGs that's changed their name, but wherever it is, I don't recognize them. So I'm like, oh, hey, new person. But then they're 41 levels in, and I'm like, that's not an easy thing to get to unnoticed.
No.
So anyway, Pam says, Mass Effect is good. I've only played up to Andromeda, if that's how you play it. I mean, I think there's no wrong way to play it. But so Andromeda is effectively 4, but it's totally different.
Apparently it's not very good as well.
So here's the thing. Andromeda objectively is bad.
Okay.
In that, clearly the budget got cut. The animations suck. The the facial mapping not good. Voice lines not delivered particularly well. There is one take where you can hear the ADR guy saying, "Let's do one more take." I'm not joking.
No way.
I'm not joking.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
But it's not a terrible story, and it's not terribly done. It didn't receive the love the others did, and I think it happened because Halo 3, Mass Effect 3 flopped so hard initially. It's apparently now fixed and fantastic, but it cyberpunks itself. So yeah, sort of. Anywho, skip one. Just play Mass Effect 2.
Just go straight into it.
Just go straight into it.
All right. That's everything we got to talk about here today.
Buddy.
I'm probably gonna get an earful when we finish this because we're taking up valuable Sims time from Adriana.
Oh.
She needs
Whoops.
to be. She's going to be like, that PC is lighting up in all its RGB colors and it's not running my Sims.
Right.
What else is it good for?
Do the Sims do anything? Like, if you left the Sims running, do they do stuff
Yes.
that's good?
Yeah, they have like a routine. Like you can
Yeah.
set them a job. You can tell them to come home from work. You tell them they go to sleep at certain times.
Can
when
you set a
when they're-
Sims guy to start mining crypto in the game?
Probably. Do you want to hear something funny? My girl's been playing it for 4 days straight.
Yeah.
She has not started the life of The Sims yet.
I don't know
She's
what that
just
means.
been. So you're first supposed to do build a character,
Yeah.
set their traits, set their how their clothes and stuff like
Right,
how
right.
they look,
Character creation, yeah.
and then you build a house.
Yeah.
Finish off your house and do stuff like that, and then you set up a life for them. So like you go, all right, I want you to have a job. I want you to go to school for this. I want you to be friends with this person.
Okay.
Talk with that, build a relationship. She hasn't got to any of that yet. She hasn't
What's
got
she
to
been
the
doing for
core.
4 days?
She's just been building a character and building a house for 4 days.
Now, I'm just going to say, and I'm all for beefing your chick out,
Yeah.
but you're talking to the wrong guy about how much time it's taken. I think I'm 17 hours into the Hogwarts Legacy, and what have we done? There's where I'm trying to think what the main story quest is because I haven't looked at it. I'll tell you this. I presume you go to the Beastology teacher.
Yeah.
Not there.
You haven't completed your basic.
Oh yeah, I haven't unlocked all of my lessons.
I was
I'll
gonna
still
say your
that.
first lessons. That's why you haven't got your spells because that's where you learn them.
I
You're like, I've got 4
I've
spells.
done herbology. Yeah.
You had to do that.
Yeah. So I had to do that. But yeah, no, I haven't. I've got a lot of the map explored though.
That's good.
I found secret places. You know, I've done a bunch of those Merlin
trials.
They're annoying. They're not fun to do after a certain point.
The worst part is that you have to do them because it gives you more inventory space. And they don't, and it's not. And the worst part is that it's at a staggered rate. So it's like the first 2 that you do, you get a little bit of inventory space.
Yeah.
Then it's the first 6, and then it's the first 12, and then it's the first 20, and the next 20. And I'm like,
but I need it.
so the point is that you get to like 6, and it's like cool. Now the next step is I need to do 10 Merlin trials to get more inventory space. I'm like, I don't want to do 10. Then you do 10. Then you're like, fuck. Now I have to do 20 to get some more space.
There's one thing I didn't understand though, which is that like, I think it's supposed to be a mechanic for. I don't get it why it's a mechanic for the game where like you're flying on your broom, and if you're low to the ground, you can just go fast for as long as you want. But if you go up, you run out of like broom energy.
That's strange. I never tried that.
Oh yeah. If you're low to the ground and boosting,
I've always been super high.
oh yeah, you know how it runs out and it stops, and if you just low to the ground, it's infinite.
I didn't know that. Okay, I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, you need to explore more shit. So I was just like, okay, cool. I'll just be low to the ground if I'm flying around everywhere, which I am. Of course I am.
That probably is a bit cooler as well, like near the water.
Yeah. Do you know what the one thing I really wish that they would have added is that the diving, you just go down and come back up.
Yeah.
That bugs me. I thought it would have been cool to at least do an underwater mission, like in the 4th movie. You know, like let's do one thing like that.
We'll have to have an episode dedicated to Hogwarts Legacy, or
Yeah,
a bit more like maybe we've completed it or something like that.
So like in a year's time.
In a year's time, yeah.
So it's good fun though. So anyway,
Yes.
you're talking to the wrong guy because I'm literally.
God.
I'm 10 plus hours in,
Guys,
like 20 levels in, and I haven't done all my lessons
In
yet.
the chat, please side with me. Anyway, guys,
Much
we'll
love.
catch you guys all in the next one.
Well,
Bro, thank you for joining me again for another episode. And we'll catch you guys all. Bye. By the way, John Wick is coming out on the March 24th. That's this month.
why is that, by the way?
I just saw an advert here.
I was like, how does that relate? Are we doing a movie club
We
for it?
was talking
We're doing
about it,
John Wick,
remember?
the movie club. Oh yeah. I was like, I don't get it.